Survival for all. I start by building a mecha and piloting a Gundam. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 176. The whole army attacks the elf warriors. Thousands of elves. Hearing this number, Monica and several elf elders took a breath of cold air. You know, their tribe has been multiplying for hundreds of years, and now there are only more than 5,000 elves. After being transformed into a military building, has the mother's breeding ability become so terrible? Monica replied hesitantly, Lord, is our mother still there? She was referring to the girl Olivia, who was the soul of the elf mother tree. Without the soul, the elf mother tree was just an empty shell. Of course. You will be able to see her in my castle soon. Tang Xiaofan smiled and assured her. Monica said excitedly, great. The other elf elders also looked at Tang Xiaofan gratefully. At the same time, their loyalty to Tang Xiaofan was also rising. It was almost about to break through the 90th level, and the loyalty of the elf tribe to Tang Xiaofan was also rising. This is the average loyalty of all elves, representing the loyalty of the entire elf tribe to him. Lord, this is the equipment that was taken out of the treasury. In the garden, there were more than a dozen large wooden boxes, and several beautiful elf warriors took out equipment from the wooden boxes. Tang Xiaofan was about to contact a few soldiers in the second battle to carry it back. Anyway, many soldiers could give their giant axes to their comrades, and they only needed one transportation to transport all the equipment back. But at this time, Tang Xiaofan patted his forehead. Why should he transport it back to the Black Technology Castle? Anyway, they were all going to be auctioned. He could put the equipment directly on the trading channel here. Really confused, Tang Xiaofan laughed dumbly. Then he no longer hesitated and put all the 379 sets of equipment on the shelves. Among them, 59 sets of intermediate equipment were sold in exchange for wood, stone and fine iron. The other 320 sets of high-level equipment were divided into 32 groups, and they were also exchanged for wood, stone and fine iron. The auction time was limited to 10 hours. Tang Xiaofan exchanged these three materials, and what he did was to prepare for upgrading to an upper intermediate town. He believed that after all these equipment were sold, the resources he harvested, plus the resources in reserve, would be enough to upgrade the Black Technology Castle to a mid-level town, and even build a Zhang Elf Mother Tree army building. When this batch of elven standard equipment was put on the shelves, the entire world chat channel suddenly became a sensation, and many people expressed surprise. Because the information of these equipment showed that they were all made by elves. Is boss Tang Xiaofan cooperating with the elf garden? It shouldn't be. I haven't heard that there are elven blacksmiths in the elf garden. Anyway, I envy boss Tang Xiaofan. Looking at the equipment that disappeared out of thin air, looking at the empty wooden box in front of them, Elder Monica and several elven elders all stared, and surprised expressions appeared on their beautiful cheeks. There is no fluctuation of space element magic, and it is not space equipment. Is this a special ability of the Lord of the Castle in the other world? Are people in the other world so powerful? Faced with the sudden disappearance of a large number of supplies, they felt quite surprised. Elder Monica believed that with her strength of the late level 21, it was impossible. Tang Xiaofan looked up at the sky. Monica, it's almost time. I will obey your will, Lord. Monica understood what Tang Xiaofan meant. Soon, the elf warriors in the tribe were summoned. Except for the elf warriors, who were responsible for patrolling the elf territory outside, all the elves above level 10 were assembled. The total number reached more than 1,800. Tang Xiaofan asked, how many elves are there at the lord level of level 18? Monica immediately replied, from the early level of level 18 to the peak of level 18, there are more than 500 people. Tang Xiaofan nodded and said, take all the elf warriors. Yes, Lord. Then the mighty elf troops marched in unison and poured out of the elf tribe. All the elves were wearing very sophisticated equipment. The lowest was mid-level equipment and high-level equipment. It can be seen that the overall combat effectiveness of this elf army is absolutely very strong. Not to mention, even if the anti-demon alliance came to kill them, they would not be their opponents, and would be slaughtered by them. In the entire elf army, there are many professional elves, the largest number of which is the elf warrior, who is good at close combat. The second is the elf hunter, whose main weapon is the elf bow and arrow, who is good at long range shooting, and almost always hits the target, known as the sharpshooter. In addition, the elf tribe has other professions. For example, elf assassins, elf magicians, druids, etc. The types of professions are very complete. Tang Xiaofan took Xena and a group of steel warriors, and flew over the elf army. Looking down from the sky, the dense forest was full of dense elf figures. Not far behind him was the 21st level elder Monica, and 2 king level elf elders. Natural elves do not have wings, but they master a lot of natural magic, including a variety of flying magic, such as levitation, wind and so on. With the help of flying magic, they can easily keep up with Tang Xiaofan. The mighty elf army marched in the dense forest. The elves obeyed the orders of the Lord, and killed all the wild monsters they encountered. They passed through the dense forest for more than 20 kilometers. The golden light of Yachin kept coming out of the elves. Monica asked in surprise, "Lord, what is that light?" Tang Xiaofan smiled and said, "That is the light of promotion. Every time the light appears, it means that someone has upgraded." Monica took a breath and said, "Promotion? How can this be?" Tang Xiaofan smiled and said, "Don't be surprised. Everyone can upgrade their level by killing the enemy. Kill the enemy, and upgrade your level." After hearing Tang Xiaofan's words, Monica and the other 2 elf elders were stunned. This way of promotion is simply terrifying to them. Isn't this the same as the undead in the evil camp? It is said that the undead can kill other undead, devour their soul fire and soul power, and then quickly upgrade their level. This is also the fundamental reason why the growth rate of the undead can be so terrible. And now, the elves of their tribe can also upgrade their own levels by killing enemies. This made them tremble violently, and they felt panic and excitement. Because this ability is too terrible, it is enough to turn the peace-loving natural elves into crazy killers. They will lose the nature of elves, and move towards an unpredictable future. Excitement, but also because this ability is too terrible. Which creature in the world does not want to have powerful power? Even elves want to be promoted to gods and gain eternal life. Really, is it really possible? The elf elder Becky said with a trembling voice. Monica and another elf elder on the side also bit their lips slightly, and it was difficult to answer Elder Becky's question. Chapter 177, Changes in the Elves. Faced with such a situation, these beautiful elves hesitated, but they were struggling in their hearts. On the one hand, they were killing crazily, and it was difficult for them to make a decision. For the elves, killing these wild monsters in the forest was something they had never done before. In the past, these animals would take the initiative to avoid the elves when they saw the elf team. Unless the elves were alone, they might be attacked by monsters. However, now the elves not only have to kill all the monsters they see, but also take the initiative to find them. Tang Xiaofan flew in the sky, looked back at the 3 beautiful elf elders, and said, "Why do you have to think so much? Since you have surrendered to me, then you are my troops, and everything you do is to obey my orders. I ordered you to hunt wild monsters, and ordered you to attack the castle force. Can you refuse? Of course, you can't refuse. So just treat it as my forced order to you." Tang Xiaofan smiled brightly, and didn't mind becoming an evil god who bewitched the elves. Lord, Monica and the 2 elf elders' eyes were flashing, and they were moved to the extreme. It shouldn't be like this. Elder Becky took a deep breath and said, "If we let the Lord take everything for us, then we, as elves, will be a failure. Since we have chosen to surrender to the Lord, we should accept our future destiny, even if we are willing to become slaves of power." Monica and another elf elder nodded. This is their destiny, and they have embarked on this path. There is no reason to retreat. Killing is not in line with the nature of elves, but it is in the interests of the Lord. As elves under the Lord, they have the obligation to protect the Lord in the Black Technology Castle. Tang Xiaofan smiled and said, "Elves of the castle, I believe you will not regret what you said today. Death is not the end. Killing can also be salvation. Praise you, Lord." Monica, Becky and another elf elder all saluted respectfully. Looking at the elves in the dense forest below, their mood also became excited as they continued to shine with brilliant golden light on their bodies. The strength of their elf tribe is rapidly improving in a way beyond their imagination. This is the opportunity they have been waiting for hundreds of years. What reason do they have to refuse? Although they don't understand the Lord's last words, death is not the end. Killing can also be redemption. What does it mean? But Xenobicide Tang Xiaofan understands very well. As the Lord's warriors, what they are best at is redemption. They redeem the souls of their enemies by killing. They believe that the souls they redeemed will be reborn in the Lord's kingdom of God and gain eternal life there. Sisters, I've been promoted to level 14. Great. Woo woo woo. My aptitude is very low, and my level has been stuck at the peak of level 14 for 5 or 6 years. Today I finally broke through, and was promoted to level 16. I'm so happy that I want to cry. Many sisters at the peak level have been promoted. Sister Susan, when I killed a big earth demon bear just now, I felt a pure energy entering my body, which increased the natural magic in my body. The shackles of my level, that have been stagnant for a long time, are finally starting to loosen. I felt it too. What kind of energy is that? Why has it never appeared before? This energy is too strong. The effect is even more amazing than the water of life. Why did something like this happen suddenly? It should be related to the Lord. In the dense forest, dense elves were shuttling back and forth, leaving behind corpses of wild monsters wherever they passed. Elves don't like killing, so there are a lot of wild monsters near the elf tribe, and some wild monsters often harass the elves that come out. Despite this, the elves only drove them away. Now, the elves followed Tang Xiaofan's will. They directed their killing blades towards these wild monsters. They killed all the way, and swept across the entire dense forest. No wild monster was the opponent of the elf army. I don't know how many wild monsters fell at their feet. Blood stained their exquisite armor, and the elf swords in their hands were also dripping with blood. Many elves' beautiful cheeks were faintly pale. They were panicking inside, but also inexplicably excited. Finally, the elf army crossed more than 20 kilometers of dense forest and arrived at their destination. A few hundred meters ahead was their goal. It was a castle standing in the dense forest, tens of meters high. There were open spaces around the castle, and many snake-headed monsters were on guard around the castle, which was very conspicuous. The visit of the elf army had already attracted the attention of the castle owner. After all, the elf army killed all the way here, and the movement was not small. The snake-headed monster soldiers who were out hunting were urgently recalled to guard their castle. What on earth happened? The young man on the balcony on the top floor of the castle looked at the figures that appeared in the dense forest in the distance with a horrified expression. There were so many of them that he roughly estimated that there were at least 1,000 of them. They were all elves. What shocked the young man was that the elves were more or less stained with blood, and the murderous aura was so strong that he seemed to feel it, even though he was hundreds of meters away. Are these elves crazy? Aren't the native elves of the god and demon continent a peace-loving race? Why are they so crazy? Most importantly, they surrounded my castle. What do they want to do? The young man trembled all over. He could tell with his toes that something bad would happen next. There might even be a disaster on his head. But this doesn't make sense at all. The young man couldn't understand why the troops of the elf tribe surrounded his castle. Since the brief contact a few days ago, he restrained the snake-headed monster soldiers in his castle and didn't provoke the direction of the elf tribe. The young man did want to capture a few elves before evacuating the area. However, this was just an idea after all. He hadn't put it into action yet. Since he didn't do it, there was no offense to the elf tribe. So why did the elf tribe besiege his castle? He didn't understand. As if he had thought of something, he called the most powerful soldier under his command, the 16th level peak snake-headed monster commander, and asked angrily, "Tell me, did you provoke the nearby elves when you were hunting wild monsters outside?" He suspected that it was the snake-headed monsters under his command, because the snake-headed monsters seemed to be doing things on their own. "Lord, calm down." The snake-headed monster commander hurriedly said, "We obey your orders. Since the last incident, we have never taken the initiative to provoke elves. Even if we met in the dense forest, we left quickly and did not dare to contact the elves." "Really?" The young man frowned, and the snake-headed monster commander said respectfully, "I dare not deceive my lord." Seeing this, the young man became even more confused. Chapter 178. Ketchup came in to play with before leaving. If it wasn't him, or the snake-headed monster under his command, then who could it be? Seeing the elf troops approaching, the young man immediately shouted in a hurry, "Beautiful and kind elves, why are you invading my castle territory? I believe there must be some misunderstanding." In the dense forest, an elf at the peak of level 18 walked out. Her profession is an elf hunter. She wears light armor, leather boots, carries a quiver on her back, and holds an emerald green longbow in her hand. The elf responded, "By the order of the Lord." "Lord?" The young man was stunned, and then his expression changed drastically. "This is the lord of the castle behind the scenes." Obviously, the elf tribe surrendered to a certain castle lord, and under the order of that castle lord, gathered a large army to attack his castle forces. But how is this possible? There are level 21 elves and many level 20 elves in the elf tribe. And just looking at the size of the elf army outside, you can know that the strength of the elf tribe is very terrifying and not easy to mess with. Who can conquer such a powerful elf tribe? The young man believed that even Tang Xiaofan, who was known as the strongest castle lord, could not suppress the elf tribe. Wait, Tang Xiaofan? The young man's eyes widened instantly. He first deduced that Tang Xiaofan's high-tech castle was in this area, and it was not far from the elf tribe and his castle. This was also the fundamental reason why he was preparing to evacuate. Since Tang Xiaofan was here, the biggest suspect was him. Is it really Tang Xiaofan? Is Tang Xiaofan's castle powerful enough to suppress the Holy Spirit elves? In a trance, the young man raised his head and looked at the distant sky. There were thousands of figures there. Among them, 3 elves and a group of black demons were surrounded by a man in silver armor. It can be vaguely seen that the man in armor was looking at him with his hands on his chest. In the sky full of stars, that person was so eye-catching. His silver armor was exactly the same as the black demon's armor beside him. There was a shining gem in his chest, and the cold light in his eyes made people feel full of cold killing intent. "Tang Xiaofan!" The young man screamed. He couldn't believe it. He didn't expect that the person behind the elf army was really Tang Xiaofan. What he didn't expect was that Tang Xiaofan came here so quickly. Even the ones who came to attack were not his demon soldiers, but elves from the elf tribe. Did Tang Xiaofan really conquer the elf tribe? Tang Xiaofan conquered the elf tribe. Before, the commander of the snake-headed monster told me that the number of elves outside the castle has increased sharply. It turns out that it is not to monitor my castle, but a prelude to Tang Xiaofan's intention to attack my castle. It's Tang Xiaofan who has set his sights on my castle. The young man's face turned green in an instant, and he shouted loudly, "Boss Tang Xiaofan, don't do it. I will immediately evacuate this area with the heart of the castle. At least leave the forest and never come back. You can if you want to live." Tang Xiaofan's voice was transmitted under the amplification of Jarvis. "I allow you to leave alive, but all the supplies in your castle must be left behind. Except for the heart of the castle and your initial troops, you can't take anything else." "Okay." The young man gritted his teeth and nodded. He felt sorry for the supplies in the castle. After all, it was his hard work for so many days. Now the situation is stronger than people, but as long as he can survive and have the heart of the castle, he can still make a comeback. It's nothing more than a little castle supplies. Staying alive is the most important thing. Damn it. How could Tang Xiaofan's castle power be so abnormal that it even conquered such a powerful elf tribe? I was ready to give in, but it's a pity that I didn't even get an elf. Now I have to retreat. What bad luck. The young man cursed secretly. He was envious and jealous in his heart. You know, that is the elf tribe. The elves living in it are not the elf soldiers recruited by the lord of the castle, but the native natural elves, authentic. And the beautiful elves. That taste will definitely make you feel great. Unfortunately, there is no chance for all this. He has been drooling over those elves for a long time, but now Tang Xiaofan has caught them all. He is so envious. Forget it. Life is more important. The young man said to the snake-headed monster commander beside him. "Let's go." "Yes, Lord." The snake-headed monster commander obeyed respectfully. Just as he was about to leave, he suddenly asked, "Lord, don't you want to catch a few elves before you leave? If you leave like this, you won't have a chance to play with elves in the future." The snake-headed monsters are also an intelligent race with high intelligence. However, because the capacity of the snake-headed monsters is not large, they often have confused minds and speak without the control of the brain. They say whatever they want. The head of the snake-headed monster leader has always remembered that the Lord has been thinking about catching 1 or 2 elves to play with. Now they are about to evacuate, so he asked it out of the blue. As a commander, he knew that the Lord has been thinking about catching a few elves to play with. Now they are about to leave, but the Lord did not mention this topic. As the commander-in-chief, he naturally has to fulfill his obligation to remind him. The young man's face immediately turned green. Can such words be said? What frightened him the most was that when the voice of the snake-headed monster leader fell, the air around him seemed to solidify. The whole world became silent. It's over. Tang Xiaofan must have heard it. The elves outside the castle must have heard it too. The young man trembled all over. He felt very cold, and there was a suffocating chill that enveloped him. He was afraid that the air would suddenly become quiet. His most powerful snake-headed monster commander gave him a perfect assist. At this moment, the young man found that the elves around the castle began to approach again. He knew that this must be Tang Xiaofan's order to attack. The damn stupid snake-headed monster commander sent him to the gates of hell with just one sentence. The young man shouted at Tang Xiaofan in the sky in horror. "Tang Xiaofan, misunderstanding. I didn't think about catching elves. Don't listen to the nonsense of this snake-headed monster. I'm wronged." "But, Lord." "Shut up." The young man roared at the snake-headed monster commander. The snake-headed monster commander shook his head and dared not say more. "Kill." Tang Xiaofan's reply was very simple. Suddenly, a large number of elf hunters raised their elf bows and arrows. They aimed at the target, drew their bows and shot arrows. In an instant, dense elf arrows flew into the air, drawing perfect parabolas and falling towards the young man's castle. Puff puff puff. In just a moment, a large number of snake-headed monster soldiers were shot and killed. Swish swish swish. Batch after batch of elf arrows flew into the air. Soon, everything inside and outside the castle was pierced by elf arrows. The snake-headed monster corpse lying on the ground was shot into a hedgehog by the elf arrows. Chapter 179, Worrying Power. Hundreds of elf hunters only fired 3 rounds of arrows, and the young man's snake-headed monster troops were almost completely killed and wounded. Even the snake-headed monster elites and upper-level commander-level snake-headed monsters could not withstand so many elf arrows. However, the peak level 16 snake-headed monster commander was quite strong. He waved the giant mace in his hand and knocked down the flying elf arrows one after another. It seems that he is a good level 16 commander with rich combat experience and quite tenacious. He fully utilized the specialties of snake monsters. His muscles are extremely powerful and many arrows were knocked away by his mace. He is also quite confident and protects the lore behind him very well. Unfortunately, his opponent is not a monster. Bang! At this moment, an arrow pierced the air with a terrifying whistle and flew straight at him. The young man reacted quickly and hid behind the snake-headed monster commander immediately, screaming at the same time, "Boss Tang Xiaofan, don't kill me. I'm willing to surrender to you and sign a notarized agreement to become your affiliated castle force. As long as you let me go, I..." Puff. The snake-headed monster commander was unable to resist. His mace was directly shot off, and then his neck was shot through by the green elf arrow. Because this arrow came from an 18th level peak elf hunter, which contained terrifying natural magic, which was not something the snake-headed monster commander could resist. At the same time that the snake-headed monster commander was shot through by the arrow, the young man behind him was also affected. The powerful impact made the two people retreat continuously, and finally the green elf arrow nailed the snake-headed monster to the castle wall. The young man was caught in the middle, screaming, "Get out!" The young man yelled, and it took a lot of effort to push the snake-headed monster commander away. He felt severe pain all over his body, as if he was crushed. He opened his mouth and spurted out a mouthful of blood. His face was as pale as paper. He ignored the snake-headed monster commander who was lying dead in a pool of blood. He hurriedly checked his body and finally breathed a sigh of relief. Compared with the snake-headed monster commander who was several meters tall, he was too short, and the arrow pierced the chest of the snake-headed monster commander and did not hit him. He survived by chance, but at this moment, another elf arrow flew over, as fast as lightning, and did not give the young man a chance at all, knocking him away and nailing him to the castle wall. The young man widened his eyes and couldn't believe that he would die one day. Moreover, his death was so unfair. He felt that he was completely killed by his own army. It's so unfair. He looked up at Tang Xiaofan standing in the sky. There were 3 beautiful elves following Tang Xiaofan. He was envious and jealous. In the end, he closed his eyes unwillingly. However, when he was conscious, he opened the world chat channel. Are there any casualties among the elves? Reporting to the Lord, the elf troops are unharmed. Hearing the answer of the elf elder, Tang Xiaofan nodded with satisfaction. This is the elf army he imagined. Powerful and beautiful warriors. Of course, the strength of this castle is too weak. The number of snake-headed monsters is less than 60. Facing the 3 rounds of arrow rain from hundreds of sharpshooters, the snake-headed monsters inside and outside the castle could not even dodge, and were shot and killed one after another. The young man and his most powerful level 16 peak snake-headed monster commander were also killed by 2 arrows from an 18th level peak sharpshooter. From beginning to end, it was the elf sharpshooters who performed. Those elf warriors, elf magicians, and even druids did not have the opportunity to appear. That's good. Tang Xiaofan said to Monica, send the order, destroy the heart of the castle. Clean up the battlefield. Yes, Lord. At the same time, the world chat channel was also shaken by the news from the young man. The world chat channel was very lively, and countless castle lords and wanderers participated in it, discussing the sudden news. Tang Xiaofan, the lord of the Black Technology Castle, conquered a tribe of more than 5,000 natural elves, including 21st level elves, many 20th level elves, and thousands of elf warriors. Tang Xiaofan's power has expanded 100 times. He has gone crazy. He is sending the elf tribe to wipe out the castle forces near the Twin Mountains. The castle lords around, please evacuate quickly. Call on the castle lords of the forest to unite and fight against the Black Technology Castle. Otherwise, my today is your future. Many people were shocked and unbelievable about this news. Has Boss Tang Xiaofan's Black Technology Castle become so terrifying? There are several level 20 elves alone, and there is also a level 21 elf that was conquered by Boss Tang Xiaofan. This is too scary. Up to now, many top castle lords have level 18 troops. If they can defeat a level 20 strongman, I can barely believe it. But level 21, and it is a natural elf, this is simply not something the castle lord can handle at this stage. Level 21, also known as the Holy Domain, Saint. Life forms at this level have already mastered a powerful domain. It is said to be invincible in the domain. Even if dozens of level 20 strongmen come together, a level 21 strongman can easily slaughter them. In Boss Tang Xiaofan's Black Technology Castle, there are already level 20 demons. However, this does not mean that his demon team can defeat the elf tribe headed by a level 21 strongman. Natural elves are themselves advanced races, and they are top level troops even in our castle forces. The demons are very strong, but there is no reason for them to be so exaggerated. In the chat channel, countless castle lords and wanderers were venting their shock. They all felt very incredible that Tang Xiaofan conquered an elf tribe with 21st level strongmen, 20th level strongmen, and more than 5,000 elves. They suspected that someone uploaded false news and deliberately targeted Tang Xiaofan. In order to make Tang Xiaofan the imaginary enemy of countless castle lords, the reason was very simple. The stronger Tang Xiaofan was, the more likely those top castle lords would regard Tang Xiaofan as a thorn in their eyes. They might even unite to besiege the Black Technology Castle. Because the top castle lords could not let Tang Xiaofan dominate the entire god and demon continent alone. Otherwise, what would these top castle lords play? Not to mention participating in the 10,000 races competition. It was a question whether they could save their lives. After the news about the elf tribe was exposed, the top castle lords of the major alliances expressed their concerns about their future. Most of them are still attacking monsters at the 18th level lord level. However, Tang Xiaofan has conquered the local elf tribe protected by the 21st level elf strongman. With such terrifying strength, how could they not feel worried? Chapter 180 Exceeding their limit. If they hadn't set up the space teleportation magic circle, they would have directly pushed down the black technology castle to prevent future troubles. They knew Tang Xiaofan was very strong before. After all, he was the strongest castle lord officially certified by the game. It can be said that Tang Xiaofan is the number one in the castle forces, and no castle force can defeat the black technology castle. But even so, it is still within their acceptable range. But now, there is news that Tang Xiaofan not only conquered the leader of the local elf tribe with a 21st level strongman, but also destroyed a castle force with only 3 rounds of arrow rain. This level of power is already too strong to exceed the limit they can bear. Let them panic. The internal information group of the Alliance of Gods, brothers, and sisters. Tang Xiaofan's black technology castle is so strong. We must find a way to restrain him, otherwise we will all be in danger. Even the 21st level elves lowered their heads. The strength of his castle is simply terrifying. I can't figure out how Tang Xiaofan defeated the 21st level elves and conquered that elf tribe. Could it be that his demon has been promoted to the 21st level? In addition to the 21st level and 20 level elves, the news broke that there are more than 5,000 elves in that tribe, including at least more than 1,000 elite elf warriors. Who of the current castle masters can defeat such a powerful local force? No one can do it. Not even the Xiang level castle master. Where's Sister Key? Her army is the nature elves, and she has the most say. Sister Key is rarely online. I heard that her castle, the Elf Garden, is doing business with the Dwarf Kingdom. Envy. Restrict Tang Xiaofan? If we let him develop like this, we won't have a chance in the 10,000 races tournament. What else can we do? We can only wait until everyone's castle has a space teleportation magic circle, and then gather together and expedition to the forest. At that time, we can directly push down Tang Xiaofan's high-tech castle. As for now, we can only watch. Alas, I'm worried about one thing. What? By the time our Alliance of Gods can gather, Tang Xiaofan will be unstoppable. Don't scare people. I heard that the anti-demon alliance in the forest is gathering. I wonder if they can push down Tang Xiaofan's high-tech castle? What was said before might still work. Tang Xiaofan conquered an elf tribe and has thousands of troops under his command. The anti-demon alliance can never be Tang Xiaofan's opponent. That's not necessarily true. After all, the anti-demon alliance has hundreds of castle lords and tens of thousands of flying soldiers under their command. This is a large army of tens of thousands of people, and the war force is super strong. No matter how strong they are, can they be stronger than the 20 level elves? Maybe the castle lords of the anti-demon alliance have already begun to retreat. If it were me, I would also retreat. Going is just to die. What a pity. The Alliance of Gods side. These dozens of top castle lords were shocked by the revelations in the World Channel. Tang Xiaofan's strength is now so strong that it makes them feel their scalps explode. In the Alliance of Gods, many castle lords want to push down Tang Xiaofan's black technology castle to eliminate future troubles, so that Tang Xiaofan will not be the only one in the future. But no matter how much they think, they have no way to gather together and go on an expedition to the forest. Because dozens of top-level castle lords are basically all over the world. Even if there are some in the same area, there are not many. They were not able to complete the assembly of the Alliance army. At least before the space teleportation magic circle became popular, it was a fantasy to assemble the Alliance army. The anti-demon alliance. The alliance members increased from the initial 5 top castle masters to more than 100 people in a short period of time. The castles of these more than 100 alliance members were all located in the forest. Brother Wang, what should we do now? Is the revelation in the World Chat channel true? If it is true, then if we gather together, wouldn't it be giving heads and experience to Tang Xiaofan and his troops? It's very likely. In our alliance, it seems that the most powerful troops are only at the peak of level 18, and there is not even a level 20 troop. How can they defeat the level 21 elves under Tang Xiaofan? Elves. They must be very beautiful. TSK. More than 5,000 native elves. Authentic. Tang Xiaofan is so lucky. Why not me? Jealous. Is it more important to have elves or to destroy the Black Technology Castle? Elves are also important. After destroying the Black Technology Castle, those natural elves will belong to us. What are you thinking? Where's Leo Wang? Where did he go? Hiss. Oh my god. Brother Harry is not only one of the top 5 masters in the Beast Tide event points list, but I heard that he also contributed to the establishment of the Alliance of Gods. This is a true god level figure. I didn't expect such a great god to join our alliance. Our anti-demon alliance has grown stronger. Brother Harry, do you need a pendant on your thigh? The Lord of the Black Dragon Castle had just joined the anti-demon alliance. There were only 5 top castle lords in the entire anti-demon alliance, and most of the other castle lords were mid-level. But the common point was that all of their arms were flying arms. From this, we can see the intention of the anti-demon alliance. They want to gather to expedition to the Black Technology Castle. Otherwise, there would not be only flying arms in the alliance. For the members of the Anti-Demon Alliance, the Lord of the Black Dragon Castle is definitely a god-level figure, standing at the top of the world, with billions of castle lords, and his influence is second only to Tang Xiaofan. And the Lord of the Black Dragon Castle is also one of the founders of the Alliance of Gods. Such a big man. Even the top castle lords are difficult to contact. Not to mention the mid-level and high-level castle lords in the Anti-Demon Alliance. Now, the Lord of the Black Dragon Castle has joined their Anti-Demon Alliance, which naturally makes them feel excited. Even many members of the Anti-Demon Alliance feel that with the help and leadership of the Lord of the Black Dragon Castle, they can destroy Tang Xiaofan's Black Technology Castle. This is the result of overflowing self-confidence. Brother Harry, say something. Is the Great God also here to help us deal with Tang Xiaofan and the Black Technology Castle? By the way, the Great God's Black Dragon Castle is not also in our forest, right? Is the Great God a man or a woman? Brother Harry, of course it's a man. I like men too. On a certain mountaintop in the Baliri Highlands, the man called Brother Harry was watching the chat channel. He enjoyed the feeling of being worshipped. In the Alliance of Gods, everyone is the lord of a top castle. Even though his army is the Dark Dragon, and he is one of the 9 counselors of the Alliance, no one has ever flattered him so directly. Chapter 181 The True Face of the Mighty Black God. The Anti-Demon Alliance is different. There are only 5 top-level castle lords, and the others are middle-level and high-level castle lords. Here, he is the Great God standing at the top of the world. He is worshipped by everyone. Hello everyone, I'm the Castle Lord of the Black Dragon Castle. As you wish, Tang Xiaofan is also my enemy. If it weren't for the fact that the members of our alliance are too far apart, we would have gathered to destroy the Black Technology Castle long ago. Great. With the help of the Great God, the members of the Anti-Demon Alliance were very excited, as if they saw the dawn. Someone asked, the troops of our alliance are already on the way to assemble. In at most 5 days, hundreds of castle lords with flying troops can assemble near the Twin Mountains. But now, Tang Xiaofan has conquered the elf tribe and has the help of a 21st level strongman. How can we win? Yes, Master, can you give us some advice? The Lord of the Black Dragon Castle. According to the news, there is a level 21 warrior in the elf tribe, conquered by Tang Xiaofan, but that does not mean that the level 21 warrior has surrendered to Tang Xiaofan. I believe that warriors of this level are proud and dignified people, and will not surrender to the Lord of the Castle casually, even if he is Tang Xiaofan. I suspect that she may have died or escaped. Of course this is just my guess. And this is not particularly worrying, because we are not dealing with the elf tribe, but the Black Technology Castle. The Anti-Demon Alliance continues to assemble, and do not give up halfway. After the assembly is completed, send troops to investigate the situation in the Black Technology Castle. If there are no elves in the Black Technology Castle, or the number is small, then stop talking nonsense, and start a war directly. As long as we kill Tang Xiaofan and destroy the heart of the Black Technology Castle, the elf tribe will immediately defect. The key point. Kill Tang Xiaofan, destroy the heart of the castle, and the victory of this war will belong to us. Brother Harry is right. Our opponent is not the elf tribe, nor even those demons. We just need to use our troops to hold them back. Our mission is to kill Tang Xiaofan and destroy the Black Technology Castle. As long as we do this, we will win. Not only can we get everything Tang Xiaofan has now, we can also divide up those demons and elves. Don't say any more, just thinking about it makes me excited. The Lord of the Black Dragon Castle took the opportunity to say, everyone should have confidence in themselves. The total number of troops of the castle lords present is as high as tens of thousands, and they are all flying troops. We can definitely defeat Tang Xiaofan and the Black Technology Castle. On the day of the war, I will also lead the Black Dragon Legion to help you. I believe that, as long as we all unite, it will be easy to defeat the Black Technology Castle and eliminate Tang Xiaofan. The Great God is mighty. With the help of the Black God, the Anti-Demon Alliance will win. The Great God is the Great God. His words give us confidence. 5 days from now will be the day when the Black Technology Castle will be destroyed, and our Anti-Demon Alliance will not only be able to rule the forest, but also shock the entire castle force, and make countless castle lords and wanderers shocked by our actions. 5 days from now, our Anti-Demon Alliance will shine in the world. The Alliance members were very excited. It seemed that they had already seen the scene of themselves standing on the ruins of the Black Technology Castle. On the top of the mountain, the Black Dragon Youth was smiling. With the Anti-Demon Alliance to help him blaze a trail, if the chance of victory was high, he and his Black Dragon Legion would naturally appear. And if the combined power of an alliance could not defeat Tang Xiaofan's Black Technology Castle, he would naturally not be stupid enough to show up and immediately evacuate. After all, he was in an invincible position. Because of this, it wasn't his Black Dragon who died, so he didn't feel sorry at all. At this moment, a new friend message came. He opened it, and his eyes suddenly lit up. Begged Riles, I heard that you joined the Anti-Demon Alliance? Young man, the Great God is so well informed. Begged Riles, don't worry about it. Let the people from the Anti-Demon League withdraw. They will definitely die if they go. The young man raised his eyebrows. That's not necessarily true. I know Bear Grylls is worried about my safety. The power of the Black Technology Castle will collapse in an instant. Bear Grylls, I don't want this matter to involve our alliance of gods. Young man. Kerami Prairie, Bear Grylls calculated in his mind, knowing that he could not convince the Black Dragon young man, and then he stopped paying attention to the Lord of the Black Dragon Castle, but contacted Tang Xiaofan. Tang Xiaofan, what? Bear Grylls, the people from the Anti-Demon League are here. Within 5 days, hundreds of castle lords with flying arms will gather in Twin Mountains. Among them may also be a member of our alliance of gods. Lord of the Black Dragon Castle, you'd better be careful. Tang Xiaofan nodded. This time it was considered a favor from Bear Grylls. I see. Bear Grylls, aren't you worried? Tang Xiaofan, what do I need to worry about? Bear Grylls felt that Tang Xiaofan was talking too much. I forgot to congratulate you. You conquered the elf tribe. Your Black Technology Castle is even more powerful. Tang Xiaofan, how did you know? Bear Grylls, someone broke the news in the world chat channel. The person who broke the news should be the owner of the castle you conquered. Upon hearing this, Tang Xiaofan quickly said, I almost missed something big. Benny was puzzled. What big thing? Tang Xiaofan, it's okay, that's it. I still have things to deal with. Benny opened his mouth. Benny really wanted to ask Tang Xiaofan how he conquered the elf tribe, but in the end, he still didn't ask, for fear that Tang Xiaofan would delete him as a friend again. In the dense forest, on top of the castle ruins, Tang Xiaofan glanced at the lively world chat channel and patted his head. I almost missed something big. Fortunately, the people of the Anti-Demon Alliance are very naive. If they were scared and retreated directly, I would really lose a lot. He didn't expect that the castle lord would expose his conquest of the elf tribe before he died. Fortunately, the Anti-Demon Alliance did not stop the assembly. Instead, they continued to gather towards his Black Technology Castle. These people are very confident. Becoming confident. In fact, this is also normal. After all, no matter what, they have hundreds of castle lords. With so many castle lords, the total number of their troops must be at least more than 50,000. And all of them are flying troops. The scene is absolutely overwhelming, and the war strength is bound to be strong. This is the source of their self-confidence. They came because of their confidence. Tens of thousands of flying troops are really strong. If I don't have the Sky City, I have to build more planes to fight them, but, unfortunately, there is no if. Tang Xiaofan already has a plan. A few days later, the Sky City will be analyzed and put into use. The entire three-dimensional combat system will be developed and matched with the Terminator. He plans to let the two mountains remembered by countless castle lords and wanderers be buried with the hundreds of castle lords of the Anti-Demon Alliance. Chapter 180 To destroy a castle force again. Tang Xiaofan knew that at that time, Sky City, the war fortress belonging to the farmer tribe, would be completely exposed, and the Terminator, the killer, would also be exposed. But Tang Xiaofan didn't care. Sky City would appear in front of people sooner or later, and destroying the Anti-Demon Alliance was extremely important for him to rule the forest. In comparison, exposing the existence of Sky City was not a big deal. He didn't think about it anymore, and looked at the message prompt that just appeared. Congratulations to the Lord of the Castle. Your troops destroyed the castle heart of the enemy forces. The enemy castle disappeared, and you won this castle battle. You destroyed the enemy castle, and gained an extra soulstone plus 300. You gained a residential blueprint. You gained the material reserves of the enemy castle warehouse. 7 soulstones, 7,800 units of food, 36,400 units of wood, 15,900 units of stone, 9,600 units of refined iron. Some monster materials, and some equipment. The harvest is not bad. As usual, Tang Xiaofan stored the soulstones and blueprints. Food, wood, stone, refined iron and other materials were packed and left behind by the elf tribe and a team of warriors to guard. Soon, Jarvis would send a transport team to receive them. Not only tens of thousands of units of materials needed to be transported, but also the resource points attached to the castle itself had to be developed by building roads. Tang Xiaofan said to Monica and the two elf elders, "Next, the task of your elf tribe is to clear out the wild monsters and other local forces in the surrounding dense forests, and improve your strength. In addition, I will plant the elf mother tree in my castle. You can come and see it when you have time. When my castle's sphere of influence continues to expand, it won't take long to border the elf tribe, so your tribe doesn't need to move." The reason why Tang Xiaofan didn't let the elf tribe move, in addition to the fact that his castle's sphere of influence would soon extend to this side and border the elf tribe, there was another reason. That is, there are not many wild monsters near the Black Technology Castle. The number of wild monsters centered on the Black Technology Castle has plummeted, and it is difficult to find suitable targets for hunting. Unlike before, wild monsters were in groups and could be seen everywhere. If the elves went to his castle, then the hunting difficulty of the angel army being cultivated would be higher. On the other hand, in the elf tribe, because the elves managed this area very well, there were a lot of monsters in the wild, and they could hunt here to their heart's content and quickly improve their strength. "Follow your will, Lord." Monica and the two elf elders saluted respectfully. They had no reason to refuse Tang Xiaofan's words. Besides, they also agreed that the elf tribe had lived in this area for hundreds of years and got used to it as soon as possible. The sudden relocation to the Black Technology Castle more than 100 kilometers away not only required the reconstruction of the tribe and the creation of a new living environment, but also the elves of the tribe would not be able to adapt. It would be better to stay here and develop. If they missed their mother, they could also go to the Black Technology Castle to take a look. After all, a distance of more than 100 kilometers was not out of reach. Elf Monica asked, "My lord, do you need to send a team of elf warriors from the tribe to accompany you to the Black Technology Castle and obey your orders?" "Not for the time being." Tang Xiaofan waved his hand. He thought for a while and said, "In about 5 days, there will be a large number of castle lords coming to besiege my Black Technology Castle. At that time, I will recruit the elf warriors from your tribe. During this time, you should work hard to hunt wild monsters and improve your strength. In addition, the corpses of hunted wild monsters are decomposed and collected, and all the food and monster materials are stored. The soulstones and drawings obtained are also kept and put away." "Yes, Lord." Monica obeyed respectfully. Tang Xiaofan looked at Monica and the two elf elders beside him and said, "Don't show mercy when you encounter castle forces, and you don't need to ask me for instructions. Send troops to attack and destroy their castles. The era of war has come. Kindness and softness will only make your elf tribe weaker and weaker. Although you are the first batch of high elves under my command, if you don't improve your strength, you will not be able to enter the core circle of my castle power. Sooner or later, you will be marginalized or even eliminated. This is my only advice to your elf tribe. Don't worry, Lord." Monica and the two elf elders said solemnly, "The elf tribe will never let you down." As their loyalty increased, their words and deeds became more and more in line with the core interests of the Black Technology Castle. They were no longer indifferent to the world as before, but full of a strong desire to struggle. Tang Xiaofan nodded, expressing his satisfaction with the attitude of the three elves. In fact, his words just now were not just casual, because when he returned to the Black Technology Castle and built the Elf Mother Tree Army building, a group of natural elves who were more loyal to him would appear. Those recruited elves were the objects of his key training. As for the elf tribe, if its strength did not improve to gain his attention, one day, he might really forget the elves in the tribe. "I'll leave it to you here." Tang Xiaofan glanced at Monica, waved his hand, and then left with the second-class warrior. Monica and the two elf elders didn't look up until Tang Xiaofan left. "This is the hope and beginning of the prosperity of our elf tribe." Monica said to the two elf elders, "The Lord has given us the opportunity, so our tribe must seize it. I don't want us, and the tribe members of the tribe, to be abandoned by the Lord one day." "Great Elder, we understand." The two elf elders nodded, with serious expressions, and faintly excited. They have been staying at level 20 for decades. Now, the opportunity is in front of them. Killing the enemy can increase the level, so they naturally have to seize it. Becoming a god is the dream of every creature in the god and demon continent. The natural elves who live in harmony with the world also hope that they can become gods. This is the fundamental driving force that urges them to move forward. On the other side, Mark Armour returned to the Black Technology Castle at the fastest speed, and arrived in less than a quarter of an hour for a distance of more than 100 kilometers. After returning to the castle, Tang Xiaofan asked Zeno to take the team to rest. The result of this battle was satisfactory, but the second army did not take action at all. It was time to redraft the battle tactics. This is not like before, when the opponent was not strong, and could be beaten in any way. Now the opponents are very strong, and have good means of attack and defense. Therefore, the 2nd Regiment not only needs to update its equipment and weapons, but also needs to learn new tactics for the new weapons. In this regard, Tang Xiaofan believes that Jarvis will handle it well. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 183, placing the Elf Mother Tree in the castle. This time when they went to the elf tribe, the warriors were almost useless, and were marginalized the whole time. It was because Tang Xiaofan underestimated the contract spirit of the elf tribe. He originally thought that this trip to the elf tribe would not be very smooth and there might be some troubles. At that time, he could let Zeno and others take action. It was enough to deter the entire elf tribe. If it didn't work, he would consider using the Terminator to threaten the elf tribe. In short, the elf tribe must be obedient. But what was the result? Tang Xiaofan didn't expect that the elf tribe was more obedient than he thought. Not only did they obey his orders very much, but even when he took the elf mother tree away, the elves did not stop it. Instead, they strongly supported the decision of the elf mother tree Olivia to become a military building in the Black Technology Castle. This made Tang Xiaofan's deterrence plan prepared in advance fail to be realized. Tang Xiaofan felt like a punch on sweet cotton, which was not effective. No matter what, as long as it goes well. Tang Xiaofan was very satisfied with this trip to the elf tribe. Then, he returned to the castle. After letting Zeno and the others repair, he came to the nearby open space and took out a blue blueprint from the Cyclops ring. Low-level building blueprint, residential building, number of uses. 30 effect. Slightly improve the loyalty of the castle residents. Required materials. 500 units of stone. This blueprint was the harvest when the snake-headed monster castle was captured. Unfortunately, it was useless, so he threw it directly into the warehouse. The residential building that the system can now build is a 4-story building, a room for 4 people. In order to improve the comfort of everyone's life, Tang Xiaofan waved his hand and built various 6 or 7-story small Western-style buildings in the city. The living comfort of the small Western-style buildings has been greatly improved. Not only are they equipped with elevators, but each room has 2 bedrooms and 1 living room. In addition to farmers who are married, 2 people can also apply. The room is 3-sided facing south, and the 2 bedrooms and the living room are all facing south. The kitchen and bathroom are on the north side, and they are built to separate dry and wet areas and handle water supply and drainage in a unified manner. In Tang Xiaofan's memory, he particularly hated the expensive housing prices and rents when he was on Blue Star, as well as the hateful lottery policy. After he built a lot of small buildings, he issued an order that, as long as someone applied, new residential buildings would be built, and it would not charge a penny, and there was no need to draw lots. Because in the expansion plan of the Black Technology Castle, this is an area that can accommodate millions of people living together. Now there are less than 10,000 people, and all kinds of living conditions are very good. According to Jarvis's opinion, once the population reaches 1 million, then a new city will be opened up. Because there are so many people now, all the traffic jams on Blue Star have not appeared. Considering the convenience of movement, everyone shares the transportation in the city, including electric bicycles, electric cars, etc. These transportation tools must be taken and returned at fixed places, which greatly maintains the cleanliness of the town. The so-called electric bicycles and electric cars use the power source of the previously developed batteries. Although the energy intensity is not as strong as the arc reactor, it is enough for these tools to run for half a year. The prototype of the vehicle was developed by Jarvis, based on the daily vehicles used by human society in the database. The development capacity of the heavy factory was not used at all, and it was directly built in the blacksmith shop. It is simple and convenient, and is well received by the farmers. Now there is no privileged class in the entire Black Technology Castle. Although some people currently hold important positions and are in power, there are less than 5,000 farmers after all. Moreover, everything is under the control of Jarvis. Whether it is applying for tickets to the opera house or arranging rooms, Jarvis, as the city's intelligent brain, has fully utilized his expertise and fundamentally eliminated the possibility of anyone using power for personal gain. Moreover, the farmers are very simple. Their lives are fighting, working, and entertaining. The other idea is to be loyal to Tang Xiaofan, maintain the safety of the Black Technology Castle, defeat all those who dare to offend, and wash away their sins with their blood. In addition, there are almost no other ideas. In addition, the planning of the entire Black Technology Castle is also being carried out in an orderly manner. Although the 3rd layer of the city wall has not been completed yet, the 2nd layer of the city wall has not been filled. The entire city is divided into 4 areas. All the factory areas are outside the 2nd layer of the city wall, while entertainment and life are concentrated in the north area. Sports activity buildings and armor maintenance are in the east area. The military command department is in the west area, and the south area close to the inner city is Tang Xiaofan's territory. Tang Xiaofan came to the outside of the 2nd layer of the castle wall again, and took out another blueprint, the Elf Mother Tree Troop Building blueprint. In front of him is a large open space, which can be used to temporarily place the Elf Mother Tree and build dormitories for the elves. When the sphere of influence of the Black Technology Castle expands again in the future, Tang Xiaofan plans to allocate this area to the elves to live. As for the integration between the 2 arms in the future, Tang Xiaofan thinks it's up to nature. Do you want to build the top level troop building, the Elf Mother Tree, in the current designated area? Yes, no. Tang Xiaofan chose yes, and in an instant, the azure blue blueprint in his hand disappeared. It turned into a cover for the area designated by Tang Xiaofan. It can be vaguely seen that there is a large tree shadow in the golden light. Although it is not as exaggerated as the main body of the Elf Mother Tree, it is also tens of meters high. almost comparable to his core castle. Along with the tremors of the earth, the shadows of the trees and the golden light stretched out thick roots, breaking through the flat ground and taking root underground. It was not until nearly 10 minutes later that the ground tremors stopped. The golden light also disappeared, and what appeared in Tang Xiaofan's vision was a newborn elf mother tree. It was lush and luxuriant, and its height was about 40 meters, only 1/10 of the elf mother tree itself. However, the natural magic it exuded was even more pure. When Tang Xiaofan's eyes fell on it, its information appeared. Elf Mother Tree, top level troop building, alignment, good lawful, initial level, level 1, can breed 3 natural elves every day, upgrade required, 100 soulstones, special reminder, the top level troop building. Elf Mother Tree has a very low probability of breeding elemental elves, ancient elves and other super top troop types. Sure enough, the higher the troop level, the fewer troop types you get every day. My farmer factory is an ordinary troop building. At the initial level 1, there is no limit on summoning farmers. It is also level 1. The Elf Mother Tree can breed 3 elf troops every day. The materials required for upgrading are exactly the same. In addition, the Elf Mother Tree also has a chance to breed elemental elves, super top troop types such as ancient great elves, and the growth potential limit is demigod level. From this point of view, there should be elemental elves or ancient great elves in the castle forces elf garden. After all, so many days have passed, it is unreasonable that none of them have been bred. Unless the lord of the castle in the elf garden is unlucky. Every time they breed, they are just ordinary natural elves. Chapter 184, the Elf Mother Tree levels up to levels. While Tang Xiaofan was talking to himself, a girl appeared in front of him out of thin air. It was the girl Olivia, the spirit of the Elf Mother Tree. As the message prompt said, transforming into a military building will not erase Olivia's intelligence. Now that the Elf Mother Tree military building has been built, the girl naturally appeared. Lord. The girl Olivia smiled sweetly and saluted Tang Xiaofan. Tang Xiaofan also looked at her. At this time, Olivia no longer had a loyalty display on her body. The reason is that she no longer belongs to the natural elves of the god and demon continent, but a military building unique to the Black Technology Castle. Military buildings do not require loyalty because they are loyal to the lord of the castle. Another point is that military buildings generally have no intelligence. Even Tang Xiaofan's farmer factory is the same. It seems that there is no thought. Olivia is a little special. Before becoming a military building, she was the spirit of the Elf Mother Tree. Now, the Elf Mother Tree has been transformed into a military building. She still exists, and still appears in the form of an energy body. My lord, is this the new future? Olivia turned her head, and looked at her body. Before, her body was hundreds of meters high, but now it is only tens of meters high. But it is comforting that she can sense that, although her body has shrunk to 1/10 of its previous size, and even because her body has been compressed by someone, the natural magic power in her body has become more pure. She feels that her strength is higher than before. Tang Xiaofan nodded slightly and said, the reduction of your body is only temporary. After the level is raised, your body will also become larger accordingly. This can be seen from the fact that after the level of the farmer's factory is raised, the scope of the factory is also expanding. I think the Elf Mother Tree will also grow taller. Tang Xiaofan asked, can you still transform into a tree man now? Olivia hummed and said, as long as the Lord agrees, I can transform and participate in the battle. But it seems that there is a limit. I can't leave the castle's sphere of influence. At present, the Black Technology Castle is a primary town. The castle's direct territory is 2 kilometers, and the sphere of influence is 12 kilometers. In other words, Olivia can move freely within a range of 12 kilometers. When the level of the Black Technology Castle is upgraded in the future, the sphere of influence will continue to expand, and Olivia's range of activities will be even larger. Not bad. Tang Xiaofan said with a smile, with you protecting my castle, even a 21st level strongman will have to flee. Olivia said seriously, Lord, don't worry, with me, Olivia, here, unless it is a strongman above the 21st level, I will never let anyone hurt your castle. Tang Xiaofan nodded, this attitude is quite good. He asked again, after becoming a military building, have you gained anything else? Olivia was silent and was perceiving herself. After a long time, she took a deep breath and said, to reply to Lord Za, there is an extremely terrifying force that affects my breeding ability. At present, I can breed 3 natural elves every day, and there is hope to breed elemental elves and ancient elves. I can also sense the soul connection of all children. Soul connection? Tang Xiaofan asked in confusion. What does this mean? Sense their location? Olivia nodded and said, this kind of soul connection can also help me recall my children. If an elf dies, I can even summon their souls back, and then use the magic of life and nature to help them revive. Resurrect dead elves? Tang Xiaofan was stunned. Isn't this ability similar to his temple? The temple can also recall the souls of fanatics, and resurrect the fanatics who died in battle, and reincarnate them into angels. He didn't expect that the elf mother tree could do it too. Tang Xiaofan asked, do all the elf mother trees have this ability? Olivia shook her head and said, originally, I didn't have this ability. Tang Xiaofan said, there is a castle lord in our castle force who can also breed natural elves. Do you think the elf mother tree of the castle lord can also recall the soul of the elves? This kind of recall requires soul connection. Olivia said, if the elf mother tree has intelligence like me, then it should have the ability to recall the soul. If it doesn't have intelligence, then it doesn't have this ability accordingly. That's fine. Tang Xiaofan breathed a sigh of relief. The elf mother tree in the elf garden is a random military building of the game official, and it should not have intelligence. Moreover, even if it has intelligence, it is not a big deal for him to be able to recall the soul of the elf and revive the elf. He has his own Jarvis black technology system, and there is no reason to be afraid of an ordinary castle lord. Olivia smiled and said, recalling souls to revive elves? This is a very powerful ability. Olivia will not have to worry about the elves being sacrificed in the future, because even if their souls are sacrificed, they will return to me, and I will revive them. Yes. Tang Xiaofan nodded. This was also good news for him. He also wondered if he could try to use the temple to reincarnate the elves after he had the souls of the elves. If successful, what kind of elves would be reincarnated? He looked forward to it. Olivia suddenly asked excitedly, Lord, should we start breeding natural elves now? Olivia can't wait. Wait a moment. Tang Xiaofan hurriedly stopped her, then took out some soul stones, clicked twice, and upgraded the elf mother tree to level 3, consuming a total of 600 soul stones. Elf mother tree, top level military building, alignment, good lawful, previous level, level 3, can breed 15 natural elves every day, upgrade required. 5,000 soul stones. Special reminder, the level 3 military building elf mother tree has a low probability of breeding elemental elves, ancient elves and other super top level military buildings. It takes 5,000 soul stones to upgrade the elf mother tree to level 4. Tang Xiaofan still has sufficient resource reserves, but he did not continue to upgrade the elf mother tree, because the soul stones he reserved were used to upgrade the farmer factory to level 5. For Tang Xiaofan, the farmer factory is naturally more important than the elf mother tree. If resources are consumed now to upgrade the elf mother tree to level 4, then the road to the farmer factory to level 5 will be extended again, which is not cost effective. It's okay. Tang Xiaofan glanced at the elf mother tree that had skyrocketed to a height of 100 meters, and turned to Olivia to signal that the elves could be bred. Yes, Lord. Olivia was very excited, not only because she was about to breed elves, but more importantly, she felt the improvement of her body's magic power. The Lord really did not lie to her. As long as her body continued to improve its level, one day, she would be able to break through the peak of level 21, and be promoted to a demigod or even a true god. Chapter 185. The most powerful soldier is always the farmer. Gradually, on the branches of the elf mother tree, bright balls of light appeared. Those were elf balls. There were elves hidden inside, the young bodies of natural elves. After a moment, they flew down and landed in front of Tang Xiaofan. After a few seconds, all 5 elf balls collapsed and turned into a group of very cute elves. Yeah. Olivia cheered excitedly and said, Lord, there are really 15 elves. Tang Xiaofan, yes, that's right. Then, He checked the information of these elves, natural elves, young bodies, strength level, level 1 loyalty. 100, growth potential limit, peak level 21 HMM. Before he finished reading the information of the 15 elves, Tang Xiaofan was suddenly stunned. He was very confused. Why did the elves he bred have the same loyalty as his farmers, all with 100 points of loyalty and constant loyalty? It seems a little different. This made him very strange. Logically speaking, the loyalty of the elf soldier should not be too high. Tang Xiaofan was a little confused. He had investigated and found that the initial loyalty of the soldiers recruited by other castle lords was mostly around 80 points. This was already a very high initial loyalty. There was only a very low probability of defection. After the soldiers were recruited, the castle lord would start to maintain the loyalty of the soldiers and use various methods to improve the loyalty of the soldiers. As long as the loyalty reached more than 90 points, they were basically dead soldiers. Once the loyalty exceeded 90 points, even if the castle lord died, the soldiers were affected and the loyalty dropped sharply. It would not drop below 80 points. At that time, the soldiers would definitely avenge the dead castle lord, or even follow him to die together. If the castle lord did not maintain the loyalty of the soldiers, causing the loyalty to continue to decline, the probability of defection of the soldiers would increase significantly. Once it fell below 60 points, the fate of the castle lord would be worrying. Therefore, it is very important for the castle lord to maintain the loyalty of the soldiers. Now, there is a question that Tang Xiaofan needs to study. The loyalty of the elf soldiers he bred is not the common 80 points, but directly reaches 100 points. Just like the farmer, he is always loyal. This makes him feel incredible. Tang Xiaofan immediately asked in his mind. Soon, the information prompt gave a response. The initial loyalty of the soldiers is directly related to the soldiers' buildings of the castle lord. The current castle soldiers building, the elf mother tree, is transformed from the local elf mother tree and has spiritual intelligence. During the transformation process, the spiritual intelligence of the elf mother tree changes. The loyalty to the castle lord is greatly improved, reaching a peak of 100 points. As a soldier bred by the elf mother tree, the loyalty of the elves is directly affected by the spiritual intelligence of the mother tree, and the initial loyalty is increased to 100 points. After listening to the explanation of the information prompt, Tang Xiaofan understood. In general, the key point is still Olivia, the spirit of the elf mother tree. Olivia's loyalty to him, because of the transformation, went from more than 80 points to 100 points. Then the elves bred by her also had 100 points of loyalty to Tang Xiaofan. If there was no Olivia, or if the mother tree of elves did not have intelligence, then even if he transformed the mother tree of elves into a military building belonging to his castle, the initial loyalty of the elves bred would only be around 80 points, not 100 points. It was Olivia who directly affected the loyalty of the bred elves. Anyway, this is a good thing. After Tang Xiaofan understood the reason, his smile became brighter. The young and beautiful Olivia in front of him made him more and more satisfied. With Olivia, Tang Xiaofan would no longer have to worry about the loyalty of his elf troops. Lord, Olivia, who looked like an elf girl, blinked her beautiful eyes. She didn't understand why the lord was staring at her, which made her feel a little embarrassed. Although her age is more than 3,000 years old, she is just a young girl in the family of the mother tree of the elves. It's okay. Tang Xiaofan shifted his gaze and checked the information of other elves. Natural elves, junior body, strength level, level 1 loyalty. 100, growth potential limit, peak level 20. Tang Xiaofan looked at the information of the 15 elves one by one. The common point is that they are all juveniles of natural elves. The difference is that their growth potential limits are divided into two types. About 80% can grow to the peak level 20, and the remaining 20% can grow to the peak level 21. What a pity. Tang Xiaofan felt a little regretful. None of the 15 elves were elemental elves. Although natural elves are already at the top of the top arms, and can be compared to the dragon titan arms, Tang Xiaofan still hopes to breed super top elemental elves and ancient elves. It's a pity that all the ones bred this time are natural elves. He was a little disappointed, but there are quite a few elves. A level 3 elf mother tree can breed 15 elves. Tang Xiaofan had to admit that the lower the level of the military building, the more soldiers it can breed and recruit. The elf mother tree breeds 3 elves at level 1, 8 at level 2, and 15 at level 3. Tang Xiaofan's initial military building, farmer factory, level 1 can summon unlimited farmers. Tang Xiaofan has no doubt that among all the castle military buildings, the one with the least number of soldiers of the same level has the most soldiers. The reason why he has so many farmers under his command is that he has more soldiers than most of the top castle lords. There is more than one reason. The key is that farmers are considered the lowest level of soldiers. Even so, with Jarvis, these farmers have a completely different life. Although it seems that after the farmers opening, the castle upgrade quickly solved the food problem. The farmland, animal pens, and kitchens all ensured that the farmer had enough food sources to summon. However, if there was no mark armor provided by Jarvis, then the 2000 farmer warriors in Tang Xiaofan's hands would not be able to defeat a fire dragon, let alone the castle lord who had black dragons as the top soldiers. That was a legion with dozens of black dragons. It would only take a few mouthfuls of dragon flame to wipe out thousands of farmers, or even tens of thousands of farmers. Therefore, with Jarvis's steel armor, everything changed. Just like when humans were on the Blue Star, they were also the food of other beasts at the beginning. But when humans began to create their own civilization and build their own weapons, all the beasts that were once invincible could only become human food or pets for viewing. Even the beast that has evolved to the peak, the Siberian tiger, can only survive by relying on human compassion. Therefore, the most powerful thing about humans is never physical strength, but brains. Chapter 186 The conflict between faith and truth. In any case, from the time he came to the world, he had not lost any farmers. With the blessing of Jarvis, he naturally had a lot of farmers under his command. Now, he has a total of 5,106 farmers, more than 2,000 warriors, more than 2,000 other farmers, including more than 1,000 female farmers. The reason why he did not continue to recruit female farmers was that Tang Xiaofan found that not all farmers wanted to start a family. He thought that the castle would continue to expand, so he did not continue to recruit farmers for the time being. Moreover, the soldiers who changed their jobs were divided into 2 teams by Tang Xiaofan, and there was also a legion of angels. This was Tang Xiaofan's core team, and there was also a small team of goblins with a few hundred people in the goblin tribe. This is the current situation of Tang Xiaofan's troops. Lord. At this time, the girl Olivia suddenly spoke. Her eyes looked at the temple in the distance. I feel the power of faith. Yeah. Tang Xiaofan nodded, and did not hide it. All the angels in the castle are my believers. I will also become a god with my faith, and become the evil god of faith of all the creatures in your god and demon continent. Olivia was stunned, and did not speak for a long time. Finally, she said, Lord, the power of the god of faith is not strong, and it is directly related to the number of believers and the level of faith. Tang Xiaofan looked at her in surprise. God knows it very well. The elf mother tree inherits the memories from the ancient era of the War of Gods. Olivia pointed to her head, and then said, back then, we elves were also believers, loyally believing in the great elf goddess. Under the protection of Her Majesty, our elves were very powerful, and were the main force of all races, to resist the dimensional demons. Later, Olivia seemed to sigh lightly. The faith system of the continent of gods and demons was defeated. Her Majesty the Great Elf Goddess was also severely damaged by the Abyss Demon. When she was on the verge of death, Her Majesty the Goddess arranged a super god level defensive magic circle to protect us, and she fell into a deep sleep, and sealed herself in an unknown dimensional world. Until now, tens of thousands of years have passed. Her Majesty the Elf Goddess has not been able to return to the continent of gods and demons. What Her Majesty the Goddess doesn't know is that all races on the continent did not evacuate, but this world was completely united, and the power of pursuing truth eventually drove the dimensional demons out of the continent of gods and demons. The natural elf empire was also established in that turbulent era. Tang Xiaofan said, from what you said, you don't seem to hate the elf goddess. Olivia asked in confusion, my lord. Why should I hate Her Majesty the Goddess? Tang Xiaofan said, the two-headed demons, goblins, and goblins that I met, they all called the god of faith the evil god of faith. I thought all races in the continent of gods and demons hated the god of faith. That's not the case, Olivia said with a smile. The reason why races like goblins hate gods is because the gods they believe in betrayed them. After the failure of the ancient god war, many gods of faith ignored the desperate appeals of their believers and fled the continent of gods and demons, allowing the dimensional demons to bloodbath the world and slaughter their believers. This is the fundamental reason why they are despised and hated. And Her Majesty the goddess of our elves, Olivia said, even in the state of divine power collapse and on the verge of fall, the goddess's crown still protects us. After the failure of the god war, Her Majesty the goddess was severely injured, but she did not flee. Instead, she used the core power of the shattered godhead to arrange a super god level magic circle to protect the elves. The capital of the natural elf empire. The location we are in now is at the core of that divine formation. Olivia looked at Tang Xiaofan and said with a slightly melancholy voice, the great elf goddess, who protected us with her life, how could we hate Her Majesty the goddess? Really? Tang Xiaofan suddenly thought of a question. If the elf goddess revives and returns to the continent of gods and demons, will you, the elf clan, continue to believe in the elf goddess? This depends on the decision of Her Majesty the Queen of the Empire. Olivia said, now, the elves are loyal to the Queen of the Empire and have established a tribe whose power can even rival that of Her Majesty the goddess. Tang Xiaofan heard the hidden meaning in it. If the elf goddess returns, I'm afraid the elf clan will no longer be her believers. After all, there is a new system, and the elf clan is still so powerful now. It doesn't matter whether there is the protection of the elf goddess or not. This is not ungratefulness, it is the development of the times, and some things will eventually be eliminated. Just like the development and progress of the times, the elves' faith was the source of their power at the beginning, but now it has completely turned into admiration for the elf queen. The source of their power has become their self-awareness and confidence. Now that the elf goddess has returned, they can only start all over again, show miracles, and develop believers, but there are many difficulties. Tang Xiaofan said, in the land of gods and demons, are there still races or forces that are looking forward to the return of the god of faith? Of course. Olivia is very sure of this. Although it is now the era of truth, there are always individual races or forces that throw themselves into the arms of faith again. And Tang Xiaofan, at the same time, thought of it, his eyes fixed on the exquisite ring worn on the index finger of his left hand. This holy level ring is called Glory Ring, which is a treasure from the Holy Church. Wearing it will be hostile to the Holy Church, and there is a probability that the Holy Church will attack it. He can now be sure that the Holy Church is most likely a certain faith organization. They do not pursue the truth, but pray for faith, looking forward to the return of their former god of faith to the land of gods and demons. Truth and faith. I'm afraid there is bound to be a war between gods. Is this a war between the god of faith from ancient times and the god of truth from today? Even without our lord of the castle, I'm afraid the civil war in the pantheon of the continent of gods and demons will break out in order to compete for the ownership of this world. Tang Xiaofan thought of the dimensional demons that invaded the continent of gods and demons in ancient times. It can be seen from the sweep of the faith pantheon that the dimensional demons are very powerful. And later, the myriad races on the continent only repelled the dimensional demons and expelled them from the continent of gods and demons, but did not wipe out the dimensional demon clan. So it is very likely that the dimensional demons will make a comeback. Faith pantheon, truth pantheon, dimensional demon god, castle forces. Tang Xiaofan muttered to himself and suddenly became a little dazed because he thought of a problem. If these four camps all gathered in the continent of gods and demons, I'm afraid there will be a big fight between the gods. Chapter 187. Build your own dynasty. To chaotic. Tang Xiaofan felt his scalp tingling, but faintly. A trace of excitement and expectation surged in his heart. Compared with the chaotic fights between the gods of the four camps, the fights between the castle forces are just like children playing house. The battle of the four camps is the real stage for hegemony. Look forward to the arrival of the war of gods. But now, development is the most important. Without strength, you can't even drink soup. My biggest asset is the number of farmers, which is the simplest thing. One day, the continent of gods and demons will be ruled by my black technology castle. This is not a boast, but Tang Xiaofan's goal and dream, and also the driving force of his struggle. If people don't have dreams, what's the difference between them and salted fish? Lord, a group of beautiful and cute elves surrounded Tang Xiaofan. They were less than 1 meter tall and all wore clothes woven from flowers, green vines and leaves. When walking, they jump and jump, very happy. Like Tang Xiaofan's angels, the elves will grow up quickly as their levels increase. It won't take long for them to be almost the same as adult elves. This is the characteristic of the army. Of course, not all initial arms are juveniles. Only arms that are bred, and bred will be juveniles at the initial stage. Like other directly recruited and summoned arms, such as skeleton warriors, grey dwarves, bloodthirsty demon wolves, snake-headed monsters, etc. They are in adult state. The common point is that no matter breeding, recruitment, or summoning, the initial level of the arms is very low. However, you can quickly increase your level by killing the enemy. Tang Xiaofan looked at the innocent and cute elves in front of him and smiled. I will send a few elves to protect you later. When you go out to hunt wild monsters, you must work hard and be brave to grow up as soon as possible and become stronger so that you can better serve my castle. Yeah. Don't worry, Lord, we will all work hard. The elves nodded their heads fiercely. When they looked at Tang Xiaofan, their big eyes were full of little stars of admiration. Tang Xiaofan used the connection between the lord of the castle and the arms to dispatch 2 elf elders from the elf tribe, the level 20 elf Becky. He had not considered the safety of the elves before, but now that he found the loophole, he immediately recruited strong men from the elf tribe to protect them. In fact, the elves can also go hunting with the angel team, but after all, they are not of the same race, and problems will inevitably arise when they cooperate, so Tang Xiaofan decided to separate them. The angel army is one camp, the natural elves are one camp, and the farmer army is one camp. Soon after, 2 figures descended from the sky. They were the elves Monica and Becky. After entering the castle, they respectfully saluted Tang Xiaofan and the elf mother tree, and then turned their attention to the dozen elves playing happily in the open space. The expressions of the 2 big elves were extremely excited. The lord really did not deceive them. After becoming a military building of the Black Technology Castle, the breeding capacity of the elf mother tree was greatly improved. In a blink of an eye, more than a dozen elves were bred. Such a breeding capacity is simply too terrifying. Moreover, they can also sense the blood connection from these elves. It can be determined that these elves are bred from their mothers and are their sisters, unlike the elves of other tribes who can only be called tribesmen. Sister. No, it's the elder. Elder. The elves jumped over, and Monica and Becky smiled brightly and were very happy. Monica said to Tang Xiaofan with great gratitude, "Praise you, Lord Emoching. You are the lord who brought hope of prosperity to our elf tribe." Tang Xiaofan smiled and said, "The elf tribe is now one of the forces under my command." Pause for a moment. He continued, "In the future, the elves bred by Olivia will be handed over to you. Your task is to protect them when hunting wild monsters and help them grow up as soon as possible." "Yes, Lord." Monica and Becky saluted solemnly. Even without Tang Xiaofan's instructions, they will do their best to protect these new elves. For them, these elves are the future of the tribe, and after Monica and Becky left the castle with the elves, Tang Xiaofan opened the trading channel to check the auction of the batch of elf equipment. If everything goes well, he will prepare to upgrade the Black Technology Castle to an intermediate town next. There has been no reward for the castle upgrade, only once, Tang Xiaofan, as the first castle lord, to upgrade the castle to a primary town, received the first world announcement in the history of the castle forces. So far, the game official has only made 2 world announcements for the castle forces, and the protagonist of both world announcements is Tang Xiaofan. This shows how high Tang Xiaofan's influence and reputation are in the castle forces. It can be said that among the hundreds of castle lords and those free wanderers, none can compare to him. He is definitely the most well-known castle lord, and because of this, many top castle lords are afraid of Tang Xiaofan. Especially the anti-demon alliance in the forest. They are afraid to the core. So much so that in such a critical development period in the early stage, they did not hesitate to organize hundreds of castle lords and summon tens of thousands of flying soldiers to expedition to Tang Xiaofan's Black Technology Castle. If Tang Xiaofan is not eliminated, and his castle heart is not pushed away, the castle lords of the Anti-Demon Alliance will not even be able to sleep. No matter if there is a reward for upgrading the castle, it will still be upgraded. Tang Xiaofan talked to himself while browsing the channel. The castle is the core base of the castle lord and the foundation for the establishment of the dynasty in the future. Its importance is self-evident. Among all the buildings of the castle lord, the upgrade of the military building ranks first in priority. The second is the castle base. After all, once the castle base is breached, and the castle heart is broken, even if the castle lord does not die, he will be forced to transfer to a wanderer, and will never be able to recruit soldiers again. There are many benefits to upgrading the castle. First, it can expand the castle's sphere of influence. Secondly, the influence and reputation will soar, which will attract the attention of the local power and increase the probability of local intelligent creatures to actively surrender. Thirdly, the defense of the castle heart is improved, and it is not easy to be broken. Finally, the higher the level of the castle, the closer it is to establish a dynasty. And this last point is also what Tang Xiaofan is most looking forward to. His goal is to rule the forest and establish his own dynasty. Ruling, he has already got it. As long as he rules the forest again and upgrades the castle to the king's capital level, he can directly establish the dynasty of his dreams. Chapter 188 Chaotic Chat Channel. Tang Xiaofan scanned the trading channel. All the equipment he put on the shelf had been exchanged. Some of them included ordinary equipment, and a small number of mid-level elf equipment, which were converted into wood, stone, and refined iron, and stored in his castle warehouse. The remaining equipment was high-level elf equipment. These equipment were not sold directly, but were being auctioned. The auction time limit was 8 hours. 320 sets of high-level elf equipment, each 10 sets in a group, a total of 32 groups. At this moment, each set of high-level elf equipment had someone bidding for it. The high-level equipment auctioned by other castle lords was higher. Because this was equipment made by elves, it was of high quality, beautiful appearance, and very artistic, especially some female castle lords, who liked it very much, and were bidding desperately. Among them was Betty Yi. But before the auction, Betty Yi contacted Tang Xiaofan first. Begged Riles, Master Tang Xiaofan, do you have an extra set of high-level elf equipment? You know, my troop type is the Ancient War Bear. I'm the only one in the entire Ancient War Bear capital. It would be a waste to bid for a set of 10 sets of equipment. Tang Xiaofan, no. Begged Riles. Tang Xiaofan, you can wait. I will give priority to selling you a set after the elf tribe makes new equipment. Begged Riles, when will it be available? Tang Xiaofan, I don't know. Kerami Prairie. Begged Riles' goddess with a strong figure gritted her teeth and was in a state of unrest. Thinking back to the beginning, he sold an extremely precious architectural blueprint to Tang Xiaofan at a friendly price, which was equivalent to half selling and half giving away. Anyone would be grateful to him. What happened? Tang Xiaofan turned around and deleted him. He didn't remember his kindness at all. Now he was unwilling to sell him a set of high-level equipment made by the elves. He was so angry that his teeth itched. Betty Yi, great god. I'll buy it at a high price. Tang Xiaofan, there is another set, but you can't afford it. Betty Yi, what equipment? Tang Xiaofan, king-level magic equipment. Betty Yi, excuse me. After the chat, Betty Yi decisively participated in the auction. He really couldn't use so much, but he could wear one set, keep one set as a spare, and sell the other 8 sets of elf equipment. Nowadays, high-level equipment is still scarce. What's more, this is equipment made by natural elves, and there is no market for it. He will not lose money after all, and he may even make a small profit, because things are rare and expensive. Thinking of this, Betty Yi's mood finally improved. Black Technology Castle. Tang Xiaofan also closed the friend column. Continue to search for things on the trading channel. Today's trading area is full of goods. Not only are there food, wood, stone, refined iron and other materials for sale, but there are also equipment, drawings, and soul stones for auction. The only bad thing is that the price is extremely high. Tang Xiaofan doesn't want to buy it after seeing it. In addition, Tang Xiaofan also found that some castle lords were actually selling fresh fruits, honey, bread, millet and other things. Even drinking water was sold. What surprised Tang Xiaofan the most was that some people were really buying water and the sales volume was not low. It should be that some castle lords were unlucky and descended to places with scarce water resources, such as Gobian deserts. They couldn't find drinking water and had to buy it. Tang Xiaofan sighed. The random soldiers and buildings depended on luck, and he didn't expect that the place where the castle descended also depended on luck. If you were unlucky, you couldn't even find water. The lucky castle lords had abundant resources around them and didn't have to worry about these things. It has to be said that some people were unlucky. Tang Xiaofan remembered that some people had been saying that this descent was unfair. Many castle lords claimed that the game officials were too partial to certain people, which also caused a lot of waves in the world channel. His opinion on this is also very clear. There is no such thing as absolute fairness in the world. No one cheats. This is fair. If someone really wants to complain about injustice and envy others' arms, they can only blame their bad luck. The game official has deployed hundreds of castle lords to all parts of the world in the god and demon continent. It is impossible for it to be perfect and satisfy every castle lord. The solution it provides is to randomly assign arms and buildings to all of them, and to randomly assign places of descent. For the official, this is the fairest. Hundreds of castle lords, arms, and buildings, places of descent, etc., all random. At least for the official, it is fair, and there is no discrimination. Of course, these are no longer important. After walking around the trading area for a long time, Tang Xiaofan did not find what he wanted. What he values most now are things like blueprints, but the castle lords who sell these things are even more shady than he was at the beginning, and they raise the prices to the point where even he feels dumbfounded. He shook his head and couldn't afford it. In the end, he could only exit the trading area, and the world chat channel next to him was still lively. Previously, due to Tang Xiaofan's conquest of the elf tribe, the popularity of high-level elf equipment was not high. Now that the elf tribe incident has come to an end, the popularity of elf equipment has also risen. Many castle lords and wanderers are discussing the elf equipment that Tang Xiaofan auctioned. Brother Tang Xiaofan made a fortune by conquering the elf tribe this time. More than 300 high-level elf suits. This is an overpass fortune. After the auction of this batch of elf suits is over, maybe Brother Tang Xiaofan will be able to upgrade the black technology castle directly to a mid-level town. Envy. My castle is still just a high-level castle. It's too difficult to upgrade a castle to a town. All the resources add up to 200,000 units. It's terrifying. I heard from a friend of mine that to upgrade a low-level town to a mid-level town, 500,000 units of wood alone are needed. All the resources add up to almost 1 million units. Hiss. Crazy. The later the castle is, the easier it is to widen the gap. The more powerful the castle lord is, the more resources he can obtain, and the faster the castle is upgraded. For example, Brother Tang Xiaofan, when most castle lords have not yet upgraded to primary towns, he has already started to capture intermediate towns. Who has the confidence to compete with Tang Xiaofan? Comparing with Brother Tang Xiaofan is just asking for trouble. At this time, several castle lords suddenly stood up and shouted, Tang Xiaofan, are you selling elves? I want to buy one at a high price. Only elves. It is said that in the human empire in the central area, there are nobles who regard elves as slaves, selling them and buying them at high prices. 100 soul stones for one elf. You've made a fortune. I'm interested in doing this deal with you. Tang Xiaofan. More than a dozen castle lords appeared one after another, calling out to Tang Xiaofan, claiming that they wanted to buy elves from him. Everyone knew that Tang Xiaofan had just conquered a tribe with more than 5,000 natural elves, which made countless people envious and jealous. And these people who suddenly appeared, all shouted at Tang Xiaofan, saying that they wanted to buy his elves at a high price. For a while, the world chat channel was immediately shocked. After a moment of silence, more castle lords and even wanderers ran out. They were stimulated and couldn't help wanting to buy elves from Tang Xiaofan. Chapter 189, taking the initiative to provoke and not being anonymous. With all kinds of unbearable purchase information, the entire chat channel was instantly led astray. Tang Xiaofan also saw these chat messages. His expression was unusually calm, neither happy nor angry. After a moment, he typed the following text in the chat channel. "You guys are quite arrogant. You took the initiative to stand up and provoke me. You dare not be anonymous? I have written down your castle IDs. It is best not to let me encounter them. If there are any, they will be gone." In just a moment, the world chat channel was completely boiling. As the strongest castle lord certified by the game official, Tang Xiaofan's original body rarely appears in the world chat channel, and even if there are, it is a fake. But now, Tang Xiaofan stood up. Not only did he confront those who wanted to buy his elves, but he was also very arrogant. But the most important thing is that no one can refute Tang Xiaofan's words, because he is the strongest. Among hundreds of castle lords, no castle force is Tang Xiaofan's opponent. Tang Xiaofan is known as the number one in the game. This is unquestionable and there is no doubt about it. Even the top castle lords at the counselor level of the Alliance of Gods can't raise their heads in front of Tang Xiaofan. This is not about being unable to confront others. Big brother Tang Xiaofan is invincible. Who gives you the confidence? This sentence is so cool. Thumbs up for big brother Tang Xiaofan. Those grandsons just now were so arrogant and domineering. They even threatened to buy elves. Do they think they can buy elves? Those people are obviously here to provoke big brother Tang Xiaofan. And that castle lord from the Alliance of Gods actually came out to interfere and wanted to buy big brother Tang Xiaofan's elves. TSK. Have the people of the Alliance of Gods become so arrogant? After all, they are an alliance composed of hundreds of top-level castle lords, known as the strongest castle group and the future world overlord. How can they not be arrogant? The Alliance of Gods thinks they are strong enough to not have to worry about boss Tang Xiaofan. They are bullying boss Tang Xiaofan because he is alone. Boss Tang Xiaofan, please let us form an alliance to teach the Alliance of Gods a good lesson. If boss Tang Xiaofan forms an alliance, I will be the first to sign up. In response to this proposal, countless castle lords expressed their support in a short period of time. Some people even estimated that with Tang Xiaofan's influence and popularity in the castle forces, coupled with his unrivaled super strength, if he formed an alliance force, the number of members joining the alliance would definitely be more than 100. 100 alliance members. What is this concept? In front of such a huge alliance force, the Alliance of Gods is nothing. The alliance army led by Tang Xiaofan, not to mention ruling the entire castle force, has no problem dominating half of the castle force. This is the influence of Tang Xiaofan. At this time, countless castle lords and wanderers participated in the world chat channel. Many people were criticizing the Alliance of Gods, saying that the Alliance of Gods was too arrogant and was courting death. Some people were also criticizing Tang Xiaofan, calling him a lone wolf. Anyway, you criticize me, and I criticize you. Tang Xiaofan's supporters and black fans were having a lot of fun in the world chat channel. At the same time, the Alliance of Gods was also in chaos. Fuck. Who in the alliance is provoking Tang Xiaofan? Don't you consider the impact of your words? Although the original intention of establishing our Alliance of Gods was to deal with Tang Xiaofan's black technology castle, our goal now is to dominate all races. It would be best if we could coexist peacefully with Tang Xiaofan. Peace? How is that possible? Even if we are willing to make peace, Tang Xiaofan will not agree. After all, this is the era of castle hegemony. Even so, a certain member should not drag our alliance into it. I believe that many people present want to destroy Tang Xiaofan's black technology castle, but we have to understand one thing. To destroy the black technology castle, it is best to do it in one go. Provocative actions like this in the world channel will not only have no impact on Tang Xiaofan, but will also lower the quality of our members of the Alliance of Gods. Tang Xiaofan holds a grudge against our alliance, which is not a good thing for us. Who is so brainless to do such a thing? There is no point in arguing any further. Forget it this time. Remember the goal of our Alliance of Gods. The world chat channel involves all the castle lords and wanderers, and the impact is too great. In the future, members of the alliance must not stir up trouble on it, so as not to bring bad influence to our alliance. Brother HUO makes sense. What's the point of being quick-witted? Provoking Tang Xiaofan, and those castle lords who suddenly appeared. Which force are they from? Who are those people? The chat records refreshed too quickly, and I couldn't find his castle ID after searching for a long time. It was just a whim. There was really no other meaning. It's you. You are really famous this time. Many people greeted your ancestors in the world chat channel. Get out. Am I afraid of them? Is it his turn to be arrogant? If our alliance gathers together, it will be easy to push down his black technology castle, right? Old kin is mighty. Support. I don't like Tang Xiaofan either. I just didn't say anything to him. If our alliance really wants to gather together, it must be 10 times stronger than the anti-demon alliance. Once we go on an expedition to the forest, we can directly reduce his black technology castle to ruins. The alliance is powerful. That's right. The members of the alliance talked about it. They are all top castle lords with top level soldiers. They are among the very few people standing at the top of the castle power. They are powerful and confident, but Tang Xiaofan is standing on top of them and looking down at them. This makes them very unhappy. Black technology castle. Tang Xiaofan opened the friend column and checked the information. Begged Riles, what happened just now has nothing to do with me. An alliance member said the wrong thing. Don't mind it. Tang Xiaofan, wrong thing. Begged Riles, of course it's more than that. His surname is Qin. He is a friend of Zhao Yang, the top castle lord who was killed by you before. Zhao Yang's castle supplies are in his hands. Tang Xiaofan, what else? Zhao Yang, he remembered that he was the lord of the bloodthirsty wolf castle. Late at night not long ago, Zhao Yang's castle was pushed down by his warrior team, and 2 bloodthirsty wolves were captured by him. Is the man surnamed Qin here to speak up for Zhao Yang? It shouldn't be that simple. It's obviously planned. Begged Riles, I originally wanted to kick him out, but you know we have 9 counselors in our alliance. I'm just one of them, and my suggestions can't play a decisive role. In addition, I suspect that the mastermind behind this incident is the Lord of the Black Dragon Castle. Although he is also a counselor of our alliance, he is now very close to the Anti-Demon Alliance, and he plans to join forces with the Anti-Demon Alliance to encircle you. You have to be careful. I know. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 190, New Tactical Drills for the Armored Team. Tang Xiaofan closed the friend list. His expression was a little cold. The battle for castle hegemony was inevitable, and he was happy to accompany anyone who attacked his castle. Victory or defeat depended on strength. But anyone who wanted to attack his elves would be his enemy. 5 more days. The Black Dragon Castle and the Anti-Demon Alliance are about to arrive at the Black Technology Castle. Time passed in the evening, the blood moon came, and the angel army returned first. In today's hunt, no angel was harmed. After all, the armored warriors who went out to hunt with the angel army were basically invincible under the control of Jarvis. So no accidents happened during the hunt, and even if there were accidents, they were strangled in the bud. But these were all in Tang Xiaofan's plan. He didn't want to waste soul stones to resurrect angels. And Tang Xiaofan, although there were not many, but mosquitoes were meat, no matter how small, and they couldn't be wasted easily. Almighty Lord, the 6-winged angel Tigger handed the soul stones he had harvested to Tang Xiaofan respectfully. As for the bodies of wild monsters hunted, they were piled up in the open space of the castle, and several farmers were decomposing and collecting them. Tang Xiaofan nodded and counted the harvest of the angel core, a total of more than 260 soul stones. Considering the strength of the angel core, such a harvest is not bad. Tang Xiaofan looked at the 6-winged angel Tigger and asked, is the hunting going well? Have you encountered any strong local forces? Praise your almighty lord. The 6-winged angel Tigger said respectfully, under your protection, The Angel Corps has not encountered any local forces so far. Tang Xiaofan said, okay, keep working hard. Yes, Lord. May your glory be as eternal as the Sunday. The six-winged angel Tiger knelt on the ground, trembling with excitement. It is the highest honor for their Angel Corps, to be praised by the Lord. After the six-winged angel Tiger left, Tang Xiaofan deposited the soul stone into the ring of the Cyclops. Not long after, the warrior team also returned to the castle. One in front and one behind, 2 warrior teams. There are 2 iron armies, one red and one black, with about 1,000 people each, which is an even distribution. They are equipped with drones, big pelicans and big yellow ducks to assist combat machinery. They conducted new tactical exercises today. After all, it is a modern combat method, which emphasizes overall coordination. The imaginary enemy is not the kind of battle between dozens of arms of the rich country people, but the Elf Empire is the imaginary enemy. The opponent has mature tactics, reasonable combat arms, rich experience, strong combat capabilities, etc. First, the drone conducts reconnaissance, and then after contacting the enemy, Jarvis immediately issues combat orders, based on the information, among which the big pelicans conduct tactical evasion. They are responsible for the transportation of spoils, and do not participate in combat. Then the big yellow duck begins to swim, preparing to gain absolute air supremacy. The first to take action are the drones and soldiers, who come together to fight for air supremacy. The soldiers use long-range missiles and palm cannons as the main means of attack, to annihilate all the enemy's air forces. Then, the big yellow duck enters the field, and begins to annihilate the enemy's ground forces. Finally, the warriors were responsible for clearing the field, and then the big pelicans cleaned the battlefield, and collected the spoils. The entire combat system was adjusted at any time according to the size of the enemy. Everything was under the control of Jarvis, perfectly achieving the crushing of local forces. Of course, the 2 teams were not completely independent. During the exercise, if one warrior team encountered trouble, the other side would take the initiative to help. When there were no difficulties, they would fight and hunt separately. The harvests of the 2 warrior teams were handed over to Tang Xiaofan together. A total of more than 1,700 wild monsters were hunted, and more than 400 soul stones were obtained. And after a whole day of hunting, many warriors were promoted. Of course, for warriors at present, the level is not very meaningful, and their strength never depends on the level. Of course, under the development of the Mark armor operating system by the fighting masters, they also summed up their own suitable combat methods. With the new missiles, single-edged giant swords, and palm cannons, these 3 conventional weapons, the fighting masters have developed a whole set of fighting methods. First-hand missiles plus palm cannons, close combat giant swords plus palm cannons, and high-speed attacks in coordination with formations. Not bad. Tang Xiaofan smiled and nodded, and said to the soldiers, rest as usual, and go out hunting after midnight. Yes, my lord the almighty. The soldiers saluted respectfully, and went to rest one after another. It's just that the research and development of automated armor has not been completed yet. All soldiers take off their armor with the help of fully automatic arms, which takes some time. But the scene of queuing to take off the armor is indeed quite spectacular. Jarvis, how is the progress of the automatic armor system? Sir, all the computing power is currently analyzing the Sky City. We can only use fragmented time to perform calculations, but it doesn't take long. Okay, but I don't want our reaction speed to slow down due to the limitations of the armor. No problem, sir. I can rotate the soldiers on duty. On the other side, Olivia flew out of the body of the elf mother tree, staring at the warrior team that was changing clothes. For her, such a scene was very shocking. It was the first time she saw such a large number of steel warriors, and she could also sense that the faith of these warriors was very fanatical, and they were all fanatics. This surprised her. Are they the believers of the Lord? Before, Tang Xiaofan told her that he would become the god of faith in the future. She didn't agree, but advised Tang Xiaofan to change a way to become a god. In her opinion, the strength of the god of faith is very weak, at least not as good as the god of truth in today's era. But now, she is a little uncertain. Because the strength of the god of faith is directly related to the believers. If the Lord's followers have enough numbers and their faith is strong enough, then the power that the Lord will be able to control in the future will be terrifying. All of the Lord's followers are fanatics. It's unbelievable. At this time, the great elves Monica and Becky also returned to the castle with 15 elves. With the help of one of them, who was in the late 21st level and the other in the late 20th level, the elves were in great glory, fighting through the dense forest and killing a large number of wild monsters. In less than a day, the elves, who were only at the initial level of level 1, were upgraded to level 5. Such a promotion speed is terrifying. Mother, what are they doing? After Monica and Becky entered the castle, they immediately saw the farmers who were gathering around the farmer's factory and taking off their armor. Chapter 191, upgrading the castle to an intermediate town. Looking at the lively and orderly team, Olivia walked over and whispered, "They are queuing to change clothes. These people are all fanatics of the Lord, God of faith." Monica and Becky took a breath at the same time. After all, they were not bred soldiers, but natural elves born and raised in the continent of gods and demons. They knew a lot about the God of faith. Then, Mother, the great elf Monica asked carefully, as an elf tribe loyal to the Lord, do we need to believe in the Lord? When the Lord becomes a god in the future, we, the loyalists who are not believers, are likely to be excluded by those believers. Although I believe that the Lord will treat us equally. Become a believer? The young girl Olivia was silent. She thought of the elven goddess that the elves once believed in. Once, the elven goddess protected their elves with her life. In the end, they were defeated by the dimensional demons that invaded from the outside world. After being seriously injured, they sealed themselves in the guiding dimensional plane world. Now the elves are loyal to Her Majesty the Queen of the Empire, and no longer need a god of faith. Olivia said, Monica, my first child, the fate of the elven tribe is in your hands. Monica hesitated. She knew that her decision was much heavier than joining Tang Xiaofan's castle. Once they believed in Tang Xiaofan, their elf tribe would be completely disconnected from the mainstream world of the gods and demons continent and become Tang Xiaofan's deities. In the end, Monica didn't say much. He still needed to think about it. After handing the spoils to Tang Xiaofan, she and Becky led the elves around the elf mother tree. Through meditation, they absorbed the natural magic emitted by the elf mother tree. This is one of the ways for the elves to improve their strength. Before practicing meditation, Monica also gave each of the elves a drink of the water of life. The water of life can restore injuries, increase magic power, and double the effect on elves. Looking down from a high altitude, the forces of the Black Technology Castle are clearly divided. The farmer's factory is surrounded by farmers. Some of them change clothes, some play basketball, and some do beauty treatments, take a bath, watch a play, and change clothes. In short, they are very busy, but full of joy. In particular, many female farmers gathered around the basketball court, constantly cheering for the farmers on the court, and sometimes they would take the lead in dancing to cheer up, bringing waves of heat. Around the mother tree of the elves, there were elves led by Monica and Becky. They concentrated on improving their own strength and turned a deaf ear to the noise near the farmer's factory. There were only a few elves who couldn't concentrate and occasionally listened, but they would soon be pulled back by Monica and others to continue working hard. Around the temple, there were many little angels. They bowed their heads and prayed, without any sound, but they constantly exuded pious messages. There was no communication between the three camps. Although Monica and Becky were very curious about what race those beautiful creatures with white wings were, they had lived for hundreds of years, but had never seen such creatures. On the bodies of those beautiful creatures, there was a holy light and affinity. Even Monica, a 21st level elf, couldn't help but want to get closer. On the other side, Tang Xiaofan was counting the supplies in the castle. The auction of high-level elf equipment is now over. All 320 sets of high-level elf equipment have been auctioned off. A total of 287,900 units of wood, 195,000 units of stone, and 103,200 units of refined iron have been obtained. The harvest is very great. Tang Xiaofan looked up at his castle warehouse. Castle warehouse. Capacity, the size of the space contained, will increase as the castle level increases. Reserved materials. 569,300 units of wood, 324,000 units of stone, 138,200 units of refined iron, 37,500 units of food, and some monster materials. Current status. Invincible note, the heart of the Black Castle has been destroyed, and the warehouse's dimensional space will collapse, and the reserved materials will all fall, and become the spoils of the hostile forces. Please protect your castle heart. Previously, the construction of the Elf Mother Tree Army building consumed 150,000 units of wood, 80,000 units of stone, and 30,000 units of refined iron. But that's nothing, because I harvested the supplies of the elf tribe and the castle, plus the auction supplies of more than 300 sets of high-level elf equipment. After adding them all up, the castle supplies have doubled compared to before. The material needs of the Black Tech Castle to upgrade to a mid-level town have also been met. Thinking of this, Tang Xiaofan no longer hesitated and called up the castle's upgrade information prompt. The castle has sufficient supplies. Do you choose to upgrade the castle to a mid-level town? Required materials: 300,000 units of raw materials, 300,000 units of stone, and 100,000 units of refined iron. Yes. No. Yes. As soon as Tang Xiaofan finished speaking, the Black Tech Castle was suddenly shrouded in a dazzling golden light, and not only the castle itself, but also the castle's direct territory was shrouded in golden light. Praise the Lord. This is a miracle displayed by the Almighty Lord. The little angels and elves were so adoring when they saw this scene. But soon, they continued to immerse themselves in the prayers. The girl Olivia, the elves Monica, Becky, and the elves all opened their mouths wide in disbelief at the golden miracle before their eyes. Because this was the first time they had seen it, Giant G exclaimed in a low voice, "Mother, the Lord's castle is getting bigger, taller, and more magnificent." Monica on the side looked around for a moment and then added, "The open space of the castle is also expanding, and the surrounding trees, rocks and other things have disappeared and turned into a flat ground. The whole castle is changing. This is the magical power that belongs only to the Lord of the castle." The young girl Olivia was deeply moved. Even she, who was at the peak of level 21, did not have this level of power. Only the Lord of the castle from another world could master such a special power. Monica looked at Tang Xiaofan, who was bathed in golden light in the distance, and asked in a low voice, "Mother, do you know the origins of castle lords like the Lord?" The young girl Olivia shook her head. How could she know? She suspected that even the patron saint of the natural elf empire would not know. The Black Technology Castle, with dazzling golden light, shone in the dim forest. Under the reflection of the blood moon, it became even more dazzling, like a pearl falling in the forest, shining brightly. Finally, it took nearly half an hour. The golden light completely dissipated, and Tang Xiaofan looked up at his Black Technology Castle, which was more than 70 meters high. There was a hammer-shaped statue on the top of each sub-castle. Chapter 192 successfully upgraded the castle and the fire dragon attacks. The overall color of the Black Tech Castle also changed, and the whole body was snow white, as if it was made of white jade. After upgrading to a mid-level town, the Black Tech Castle became more magnificent and luxurious, no less than some luxurious castles of human nobles. In addition, the direct territory of the Black Tech Castle has also expanded a lot, and the walls, that are several meters high, have also expanded everywhere. At this time, a message prompt came. Congratulations, Lord of the Castle. Your Black Tech Castle has been upgraded to a mid-level town. The direct castle territory has expanded to 5 kilometers, and the castle sphere of influence has increased to 20 kilometers. The defense value of the castle heart has increased 5-fold. The influence and reputation of your Black Tech Castle in the God and Demon continent has been greatly improved. Special reminder 1. Some forces in the forest have noticed your castle. Special reminder 2. The Goblin Kingdom's hatred value for your castle has increased. Special reminder 3. The Forest Giant Kingdom's friendship value for your castle has increased. Next level. Advanced town, new buildings, middle school, temple, stadium, garbage disposal plant, park, power plant, fire station, police station, hospital, current camp. None. The scope of the castle's territory has also skyrocketed. When it was a primary town, my castle's direct territory was 2 kilometers of influence and the scope was 15 kilometers. Now it has been upgraded to an intermediate town, and the direct territory has been increased to 5 kilometers, and the scope of influence has been expanded to 20 kilometers. 20 kilometers of influence. What does this mean? To put it simply, the scope of influence of the Black Technology Castle has completely included the goblin tribes in the underground world. Going a distance to the northwest, it is the Twin Mountains. In other words, Tang Xiaofan's sphere of influence is almost close to the Twin Mountains. As long as one more level is upgraded, the Black Technology Castle will be promoted to an advanced town, and then the Twin Mountains will also be covered by his sphere of influence. And a lot of new buildings have been added. It looks like a standard town. Of course, for example, the power plant is a bit wasteful for Tang Xiaofan, because all the electricity for his castle now comes from the arc reactor in his room. There is no need to build an additional power station. Of course, the garbage plant seems to be useless, because both production garbage and construction garbage can be converted into materials for reuse by the castle. Other buildings are not bad, such as the hospital, which is useless. At present, his farmers don't even have a cold. It seems that the goblin tribe has had injured warriors, and the little angels and elves have not encountered any injuries. As a result, the hospital has become a decoration. The doctors and farmers who were supposed to save lives and heal the wounded are almost growing hair. The police station is useless, but it's better than nothing. After all, the farmers now have a high degree of obedience. They have a clear understanding of various rules and never break the rules. The original idea of building a prison was abandoned because the farmers were very obedient. Although there are sometimes big disagreements between male and female farmers, and arguments often break out on the court, the guards controlled by Jarvis will soon calm down the disputes. Now that there are policemen, Tang Xiaofan plans to let Jarvis withdraw these life-level monitoring and management. From the experience of being born on Blue Star, too much detail in management will make the organization lose its vitality and creativity. Tang Xiaofan doesn't want his farmers to be just a group of humanoid robots. He hopes that they can find their own life in this alien world. When it comes to Twin Mountains, Tang Xiaofan can't help but think of the Anti-Demon Alliance army that is being assembled. Hundreds of castle lords. Roughly estimated, they can gather more than 50,000 flying arms, which can indeed be called a large army. Even so, Tang Xiaofan does not plan to summon more soldiers. Come on. Both my castle arms and terminators are ready. Any castle lord who dares to participate in this expedition, there is only one result, death. Tang Xiaofan will not be soft-hearted when dealing with the enemy, because he knows what his fate will be if he loses. This time, he was determined to kill the entire Anti-Demon Alliance, plus the Black Dragon Castle, which was famous in the castle circle, and came from the Alliance of Gods. It was also a warning to some people who coveted his Black Technology Castle in secret. After upgrading the Black Technology Castle, Tang Xiaofan checked his own reserve of soulstones. Soulstones. 12,605, just a little bit. Tang Xiaofan shook his head, somewhat helpless. It takes 20,000 soulstones to upgrade the farmer's factory to level 5. Now, the soulstones are still half short. He thought about it, opened the soulstone trading channel, and soon a large number of soulstone sales information appeared in front of him. But the price was so high that Tang Xiaofan couldn't help but feel his scalp tingling. The lowest price of a soulstone was as high as millions of materials. Is this crazy? A pure profiteer in business. But I don't have enough resources to buy soulstones. How about borrow some from someone? Tang Xiaofan thought of the little Lalita in the underground world at the first time. The reason why he was eager to upgrade the farmer factory was that, if he upgraded now, he could get new professional soldiers. Compared with the 4th level, the 5th level farmer factory would definitely breed more powerful technicians. If it is upgraded tomorrow, it might delay the transformation of the Sky City and the portable transformation of the Mark's second armor. If little Lali has it, she will definitely lend it to me without hesitation. In addition, there is the ancient giant bear, Bei Yi. He would not refuse it, but it is inevitable to owe favors, and Bei Yi's favors are not easy to deal with. After thinking about it, Tang Xiaofan still felt that little Lali was more reliable. Just when Tang Xiaofan opened the friend column and was about to send a message to little Lali, a roar suddenly sounded, and the night fell and everything was silent. The sudden roar seemed extremely loud, scaring away countless beasts in the dense forest. Tang Xiaofan looked in the direction of the sound and suddenly found that there were endless fire clouds in the distance, as if there was a sea of fire burning the sky. In the sea of fire, a group of huge figures could be vaguely seen. They flapped their giant wings, carrying the sea of fire, and their roars were deafening. A group of fire dragons? Tang Xiaofan widened his eyes, a little surprised. He didn't understand why so many flaming dragons suddenly appeared. It seems that the leader is the peak level 20 fire dragon. It turned out that it was the one who did it. When the beast-tide battle came, the level 20 fire dragon was scared away, and before leaving, it didn't forget to show its murderous intent to me. Now, it's back. There are a total of 29 fire dragons. The lowest is the peak level 18, and most are level 20. Hiss. Tang Xiaofan's expression, from the initial shock, gradually evolved into a daze, and finally ecstasy, because he suddenly felt that he seemed to be favored by the goddess of luck. Aren't these fire dragons the soul stones that came to his door? Good people, no, good dragons. Chapter 193 The Fire Dragons Delivering Soul Stones. Tang Xiaofan was overjoyed when the fire dragons appeared. He was just thinking about how to find more soul stones to upgrade the farmer factory to level 5. He even planned to borrow some from the little Lalita in the underground world to deal with the emergency. In addition to the little Lalita, Bear Grylls was also listed as the second borrowing soul target. After all, he had to collect 20,000 soul stones before 12 o'clock tonight and must upgrade the farmer factory to level 5. In this way, he can immediately recruit more technicians. However, before he opened his mouth to borrow souls, a group of fire dragons swept in with a sea of fire and roaring dragons. It was so unexpected and pleasantly surprised. Tang Xiaofan didn't expect that the level 20 fire dragon that appeared in front of him during the novice protection period would actually treat him so well. It would be fine if he came back by himself, but he also brought more than 20 giant fire dragons with him. So cool. At this time, Tang Xiaofan was very happy, with a bright smile. There were 29 fire dragons, the lowest was level 18, the most were level 20, and there were many fire dragons that were at level 20. It should not be a problem to drop thousands of soul stones. Even if the drop probability was not 100%, there was a 90% possibility. Because the higher the level of wild monsters, the more likely they were to drop soul stones, and the higher the blood level of wild monsters, the more likely they were to drop soul stones. Dragons are highly intelligent creatures, not wild monsters. However, dragons are also creatures that can drop soul stones. Generally speaking, only creatures in human form do not drop soul stones, such as goblins, two-headed demons, goblins, etc. 29 fire dragons. The lowest is level 18 and the highest is level 20. I'm rich this time. Tang Xiaofan couldn't help but sigh that the old friend of the level 20 fire dragon, who had met twice, had a close relationship with him. Think about what he thinks, and worry about what he worries about. Help in times of need. Help the poor and the needy. What a good dragon. My lord. Enemy attack. In just a moment, the six-winged Archangel Tigger and the little angels gathered around Tang Xiaofan and stared at the fire dragons roaring in the sky. The angel army was also ready for battle. The two bloodthirsty demon wolves also flapped their wings and hovered over the castle, ready to fight with the attacking fire dragons at any time. The dragon army recruited by the lord of the castle. The dragon's might is difficult to deter the local creatures. Similarly, the dragon's might imitated by the local dragons of the god and demon continent is also difficult to shock the army recruited by the lord of the castle. Now, with the blessing of faith, the loyalty of the bloodthirsty demon wolves to Tang Xiaofan has reached 100 points. Facing the raging dragons, they are fearless and willing to sacrifice their lives to protect the lord's castle. As for the little angels, they are even more loyal. They are all fanatical believers of Tang Xiaofan. These fire dragons want to destroy their lord's castle unless they step over their corpses. Not far away, the elves also showed hostility to the group of fire dragons. Although their level was very low, a breath of dragon's breath was enough to kill them. But they would not be afraid or retreat. They were also willing to sacrifice their lives to protect the Lord. Strange. The dragon's nest is more than 3,000 kilometers away from here. Why would these fire dragons come all the way to attack the Lord's castle? The great elf Monica was a little confused. The dragon's nest was the most powerful force in the forest. Whether it was their elf tribe, the dwarf kingdom, or the forest giant kingdom, they were all weaker than the dragon's nest. In the dragon's nest, there lived giant dragons of various elemental attributes. The flame dragon was one of them. So many flame dragons, crossing thousands of kilometers, came to the expedition to the Black Technology Castle, which made Monica feel puzzled. Could it be that the Lord had offended them before? As a native natural elf of the god and demon continent, Monica knew the dragon clan very well. The flaming dragons are also called red dragons. Once a creature offends them, or covets their treasures, they will be marked by them. Monica felt that the Lord might have provoked one of the flaming dragons in the past. They came in a group, intending to destroy the Black Technology Castle and vent their anger. The girl Olivia smiled and said, no matter why these dragons come, they are obviously enemies. Since they are the Lord's enemies, don't let them get close to the castle and threaten the Lord's safety. I understand, Mother. Please leave it to me. Monica nodded. As a high-level natural elf in the late stage of level 21, she is not inferior to races of the same level, let alone a group of fire dragons whose highest level is only the peak of level 20. With her strength, it is enough to suppress these flaming dragons. There is no need for the mother and the other subordinates of the Lord to take action. She can handle it by herself. Lord. Monica came to Tang Xiaofan and said respectfully, I request to go to the battle and defeat the attacking flaming dragons. Almighty Lord, the little angel army also requests to go to the battle. The six-winged angel Tigger held the scepter and emitted a holy light that was breathtaking. As the archangel of the angel team and the commander, she stood up to share the worries of the Lord and took the initiative to petition to eliminate these heretics from the dragon clan. Other little angels also requested to go to the battle. Although the enemy was very strong, generally level 20, and there were many level 20 peak dragons, the little angels were not afraid. Angels, the sword of the Lord. The meaning of their existence is to clear all obstacles for the Lord. Sacrifice is glory. Tang Xiaofan looked at the elf Monica who was standing respectfully in front of him. Can you handle it? Monica said respectfully, reporting to the Lord, I can use the 20 level domain to suppress these flaming dragons. In front of the domain of a 20 level strongman, the 20 level dragons are just weak winged lizards. I like this adjective very much. Tang Xiaofan said with a smile. This time it depends on Monica. Others should not make a move, and the warriors should be ready to fill in and intercept, and don't let any go. The purpose of doing this, of course, is to let the little angels and elves get experience. These flaming dragons are at least 18 levels and the highest level is 20 levels. In his eyes, they are ill-experienced babies. As long as these dragons are cleared, the elves and angels under his command will surely be able to increase their levels. Tang Xiaofan believes that, after killing these flaming dragons, his little angels will definitely grow up. Yes, my lord. All of 500 warriors stood up immediately. They were all urgently recruited warriors. After receiving Jarvis's warning, they immediately put down their work and lined up to put on their armor. The remaining warriors were not affected. In Jarvis's opinion, these warriors were more than enough to deal with these fire dragons. Monica opened her mouth and wanted to ask these warriors to get some experience. She now understood that, as long as they participated in the battle, they could gain special energy after the enemy died, thereby improving their own strength. If they did not participate in the battle and stood aside to watch, they would not gain special energy. However, seeing that Tang Xiaofan did not take the initiative to speak, she did not dare to ask more. Chapter 194 The Power of the 20 level domain. Monica suddenly said, Lord, these flaming dragons should be from the dragon's nest. Yes. Tang Xiaofan nodded. As soon as this group of dragons appeared, he knew where they came from. After all, there are so many of them, and they are all flaming dragons. The biggest possibility is that they came from the dragon's nest, which is more than 3,000 kilometers away from the Black Technology Castle. In the dragon's nest, there are a lot of dragons. I think that the level 25 dragon is not stupid. When the beast tide came, it was forced to leave this area. Before leaving, it saw that the black technology castle was not easy to mess with, so it went back to call friends. Now they are grouped together to besiege Tang Xiaofan's castle. However, it still underestimated the development speed of the black technology castle. Its only chance is the beast tide. Attacking the black technology castle with the beast tide may be able to take Tang Xiaofan away in one wave. But at that time, the level 25 dragon was scared away by the 9 blood-colored thunders when the beast tide came, missing the precious opportunity. When he came back, everything had changed. Even without Monica, the late level 21 great elf, Tang Xiaofan could still rely on his soldiers to wipe out the flaming dragons. Do you really think the close defense gun is just for show? As long as it is a flesh and blood body, as long as it is a carbon-based creature, no one can escape the huge impact of tearing steel. There are also the tracking missiles newly equipped by the soldiers, and the huge sniper rifles, which can easily kill the dragons. Do you know me? Monica seemed a little surprised. Of course, we are neighbors. The level 25 dragon was slowly retreating. The flaming dragons behind it also discovered the existence of the great elf Monica, and they all braked in the sky and flapped their wings, ready to run away. They can be arrogant and domineering in the face of a castle force from another world, but in the face of the late level 21 great elf Monica, they also know what it means, that a strong dragon cannot suppress a local snake. The key is that Monica is not a snake, but a high level natural elf. With Monica's strength, it is enough to peel off their skins with one hand. They are scared and ready to withdraw. Leia, you idiot, why didn't you investigate it beforehand? What they said is that the strongest person in this castle is only at the peak of level 18, not even level 20, and they brought us here to make a fortune. Is this making a fortune? This is losing our lives. Leia is right, those creatures in steel armor do look delicious. Why is Monica here? Did she join the castle? Retreat. The fire dragons roared and frantically flapped their wings to escape. However, it was too late. A green light suddenly descended, and in an instant, all the more than 20 flaming dragons present were covered. Every fire dragon in the light felt difficult to move, and their own life force was still being sucked away. No matter how they resisted, it was useless. It seemed that there were invisible chains binding them. They flapped their wings frantically, but could hardly move at all. Damn it. This is a domain. Monica's level 21 domain. Damn it. Elf Monica, let us go. Monica, how dare you fight us? Let us go quickly, otherwise the chief will definitely destroy your tribe and make the forest a cemetery for your natural elves. The fire dragons shouted angrily, but they were extremely terrified in their hearts. If it was a domain at the early stage of level 21, they might be able to break it together. After all, most of them are level 20 giant dragons, and they can destroy the domain of a strong person at the early stage of level 21. But Monica's level is as high as the late stage of level 21, and she is not far from the peak of level 21. As a veteran level 21 strongman in the forest, Monica's strength, status, and influence are second only to their chief. Now the great elf Monica took action personally, using her domain to suppress them, and it was difficult for them to escape. The level 25 dragon was also covered by Monica's level 21 domain. It screamed in fear, Monica, why are you doing this? We dragons are friends with your natural elves. How can you help the lord of the castle in another world to deal with us? Friends? The great elf Monica shook her head. She did not agree with this word. Especially in this forest, the dragon nest and the elf tribe are not friends. In the early years, elves disappeared from the tribe from time to time. It was not until their mother was promoted to the peak of level 21, and she also entered level 21 that such a situation did not occur. Monica knew. A few of the elves that disappeared had accidents, and most of them were attacked and eaten by evil dragons. Monica always remembered this grudge. The natural elves of the forest and the dragons are not friends. Monica replied with certainty. The level 25 dragon said angrily, you shouldn't help the castle lord of another world. They are the enemy of all races in our god and demon continent. Monica corrected, if I kill you, no one will know. The level 25 dragon suddenly widened his eyes in disbelief. The other fire dragons that were still struggling, spewing dragon breath, and releasing dragon language magic also stopped and looked at Monica with incredible eyes. At this time, they finally discovered that there was a big tree standing near the White Castle. Originally, they didn't care much, thinking it was just a tree with strong natural magic. Now they can see that it is the mother tree of the elves. Did the elves of the elf tribe move their mother trees to this castle? The elves surrendered to the owner of this castle. This is also the reason why Monica is here. Their elf tribe betrayed the 10,000 races of the god and demon continent and turned to the invaders from another world and even dared to attack us. Damn it. Why didn't anyone notify us? Such a big thing happened. We should have been informed as soon as possible. Maybe we were on the way when the elf tribe surrendered and we missed it. As they spoke, the flame dragons also felt that their bodies were getting more and more tired. They had abundant magic power in their bodies, but they just felt tired and had a drowsy impulse. My vitality is drastically decreasing. This is the power of the domain from the betrayer Monica. It can not only bind us, but also devour our vitality. Damn it. I was hurt so badly by that guy Lee. The level 20 fire dragon kept roaring at Monica. Let us go. It sprayed dragon breath and even released dragon language magic. Unfortunately, the gap was too big, and its attack could not break through Monica's domain at all, let alone hurt Monica. After a while, the dragon's struggles became weaker and weaker. Monica turned to the warriors and said, "It's almost time to start. These flying lizards have lost the power to resist." Flying lizards? Such a title made the dragons extremely angry. They wanted to refute and retort, but found that they didn't even have the strength to open their mouths. The life force was devoured in large quantities, and the first thing that appeared was weakness all over the body, and finally death. Chapter 195 The Dragons Who Fear Death. The warriors looked at each other. So far, this was the first time they had hunted like this. They didn't put in any effort, and the only thing they did was harvest. However, they didn't hesitate, and they released missiles to kill the dragons. In a blink of an eye, nearly 10 flaming dragons were killed by their missiles. Dragon blood fell from the ground like a rainstorm, attracting a large number of wild monsters to fight for it. This night was destined to be a carnival feast. Your troops killed the peak level 18 fiery dragon and obtained 1000 energy and 1001 soul stones. Your troops killed the initial level 20 fiery dragon and obtained 2000 energy and 1500 soul stones. Your troops killed the peak level 20 fiery dragon and obtained 7000 energy and 3000 soul stones and 1 blueprint. Your troops killed. A series of information prompts appeared, making Tang Xiaofan smile. Under the suppression of the 21st level elf Monica, these fiery dragons, which were only at the peak level 20, had no power to resist at all. Their vitality was also swallowed up by the domain, and they were unable to resist the attacks from the soldiers. The powerful missiles were enough to break the dragon's scale armor defense. With the tiny missiles falling from the sky, the lives of the fiery dragons were ended one by one. Soon, more than 10 fiery dragons were killed by the soldiers. At the same time, the little angels and elves on the ground also gained a huge amount of experience in killing monsters. The 6-winged archangel Tigger, who had already stepped half a foot into the 18th level, was the first to break through the peak of the 18th level. After being promoted to the 18th level, Tigger, who was originally only about 1.2 meters tall, also jumped to about 1.5 meters tall, becoming a graceful young lady. With a height of 1.5 meters, she looked much bigger than the other little angels, and felt like an adult in an instant. She had a beautiful face and a perfect golden ratio. Even Tang Xiaofan, who had seen many beautiful angels and beautiful elves, found her very stunning. Not long after, the latest batch of elves that were bred, these peak level 10 elves also completed the promotion, and entered the 12th level. At the same time, the warriors continued to hunt the remaining flame dragons. For Tang Xiaofan, these flame dragons that attacked in groups were completely experienced babies, and could even be said to be an experienced copy. They came to give him and his little angels and elves experience and heads. Not only did the little angels and elves gain a huge amount of energy, as the lord of the castle, Tang Xiaofan, although he did not participate in the battle, was also able to share a batch of energy. With the help of considerable energy, his level also jumped into the peak of level 10, not far from level 11. A big harvest. Each flaming dragon gave a large amount of energy and soul stones. All the little angels and elves were promoted, and many little angels were promoted from the peak of level 12 to level 13. In addition, each flaming dragon also exploded soul stones. And Tang Xiaofan also found that it was not just soul stones that exploded, even blueprints exploded. What is a surprise? This is a surprise. The killing in the sky is still going on. Under the control of the Great Elf Monica, her level 21 domain can bind and suppress the flaming dragons, but the warriors are free to move and release missiles without being affected. Gradually, more and more flaming dragons were killed. Finally, a flaming dragon could not hold on any longer and roared with ultimate potential in despair and fear. Don't kill me, I surrender. I surrender too. The remaining surviving flaming dragons also lost their courage. Seeing that a dragon led the surrender, they also spoke up, saying that they were willing to surrender and did not want to die. Major. The soldiers stopped the missile attack and asked Zhang Yi. As the commander of the front line, Zhang Yi had the power to respond to emergencies. The life and death of these dragons depended on his thoughts. He took a look at the collected soul stones and said, the soul stones are not enough. We need to collect 20,000. Then, other soldiers once again aimed their missiles at the flaming dragons begging for mercy. 1, 2, and finally when they killed the third level 20 flaming dragon, more than 7,000 soul stones exploded. That's enough. Zhang Yi nodded slightly and ordered the soldiers behind him to stop attacking. And his calm eyes, through the visor, looked at the terrified flaming dragons. This time, they killed a full 20 flaming dragons that came to attack the angel castle. Disobedient. Become a believer of the Lord, and you will be redeemed. Impossible. A flaming dragon roared and refused without hesitation. We can surrender, become captives of your castle, and fight for you until our people come with treasures to exchange for our freedom. But we will never become believers of the God of faith. We will not believe in the Lord of the castle from another world. A blood-red giant sword slashed at its neck. The sharp blade intersected with the dragon scales of the flaming dragon, rubbing out sparks like metal collisions. The one holding the giant sword was Zhang Yi. Now, he has broken through the late stage of level 20 and entered the peak of level 21. With his mastery of combat skills, coupled with the bloodline suppression of high-level life on low-level life, he is enough to crush the late stage 20 level flaming dragon in its heyday. Really? The cold mask exuded a breath of indifference and death. He held the giant sword and slashed it across the neck of the flaming dragon. I'll give you another chance. Answer well. Don't kill me. I surrender. The flaming dragon quickly lowered its head, completely losing its temper and without hesitation, expressing its willingness to become a believer. The other flaming dragons also twitched all over and surrendered. Believers are believers. After all, it's better than losing your life. You bunch of cowardly dragons. Among the dragons, the level 25 dragon Li said angrily, the arrogance of the dragon race and the dignity of the five-colored dragon have all been lost by you. Shut up. Some flaming dragons shouted, becoming even more angry. When staring at the level 25 dragon Li, both of its hands spewed out blazing flames. Damn Li, if it weren't for you, would we be here? You've killed us. That's right. Li has deliberately killed us. No matter what we become, it's all your fault. Shut up. Zhang Yi said softly, raising the giant sword in his hand. The flaming dragons that were just roaring and making noises immediately shut up and became very well behaved. The level 25 dragon Li also fell silent. At first, it just felt that it alone could not destroy the castle of the human, so it brought these people here. It hoped to share the fruits of victory together after the victory. It never thought that this expedition would fail, and it never thought that its people would be slaughtered by a group of monsters like steel demons. Chapter 196 The Unforgivable Fire Dragon. Fire Dragon Li felt guilty. It was he who brought disaster to his tribesmen. No. I won't accept it. I can't die here. I have to avenge my dead tribesmen. Fire Dragon Li roared, and at the same time, a terrifying magic power burst out from his body, and the blazing dragon flames shot out in all directions, almost shaking the 20 level domain of the Great Elf Monica. Is this going to be promoted? Monica flew in the air, looking at the 20 level fire dragon Lee who was undergoing a mutation. Its level was originally the peak of the 20 level, and as Ling, its aura was madly soaring, heading towards the 20 level. And the blazing dragon flames around it also had a tendency to form a 20 level domain. All signs showed that the 20 level fire dragon Lee had exploded with super potential in despair and was about to be promoted to the 20 level. Xana asked Monica, Ms. Monica, can you suppress the flaming dragon after it is promoted to the 20 level? Monica was stunned. This was the first time someone called her like this. She smiled and said, of course. My level is the late 21st level, and my domain is stable. Even if the fire dragon Lee is promoted to the 21st level, it is only in the early stage, and its domain is not fully formed. It is not my opponent. That's good. Xana nodded. Then wait until it is promoted to the 21st level, and then save its soul. Yes. Monica nodded, and asked curiously, how to save the soul? The Lord said, the dirty body will be purified, only the pure soul is worth saving. For those who blasphemed the Lord, only death can redeem their souls. Killing is redemption. Death is eternal life. The warriors whispered in unison, and made a gesture of praying to the Lord. At this moment, Monica, a great elf who is a late 21st level strongman, inexplicably felt cold sweats. I don't know why, these masked warriors made her feel terrified. Even the dimensional demons that her mother often mentioned to her did not give her this feeling. Xana continued, Ms. Monica, after it is successfully promoted, please suppress it. Leave the redemption of heretics to our warriors. Okay. Monica replied stiffly. She didn't even dare to look at the warriors' cold faces and turned her head away in a hurry. As for the trembling flame dragons, they were so scared that they almost fainted after hearing the words of the warriors. What kind of creatures are these? Too scary. Second only to the legendary dimensional demons. Iron warriors? Such a race has never appeared in the continent of gods and demons. They must be evil creatures from another world, comparable to demonic creatures. Why am I here? I regret meeting Lee. He killed us. The flame dragons trembled and dared not speak. They could only communicate with the spiritual secrets of the dragon clan. On the other side, Lee, a level 25 dragon who was in the state of promotion, was conscious. After hearing the conversation between Monica and the warriors, he trembled all over and almost failed to break through. But in the end, it stabilized, wanting to burst out the strongest power at the moment of breakthrough. As long as it returns to the dragon nest, it will be safe. It can even ask the patriarch to send a huge dragon army to expedition to the Black Technology Castle. Fire Dragon Lee believes that, as long as the entire Dragon Nest army attacks, it will definitely conquer the Black Technology Castle and eliminate this ugly castle force. Even the Great Elf Monica and the Elf Mother Tree will die. As time passed, the momentum of Fire Dragon Lee became stronger and stronger. I don't know how long it took. Finally, its momentum climbed to the limit and successfully promoted to the 21st level. Almost at the same time, it roared in dragon language and released the 21st level dragon language magic, meteorite falling from the sky. In an instant, hundreds of huge meteorite fireballs fell from the sky, some of which hit Monica's 21st level domain, and some hit Tang Xiaofan's Black Technology Castle. Not only that, Fire Dragon Lee also spewed out hot dragon breath, carrying the domain power that had just been derived, attacking the surrounding green light curtain. This green light curtain is Monica's level 21 domain barrier. As long as it is broken, it can escape. How can I let you do what you want? Dim to the elf goddess. The great elf Monica waved the magic wand in her hand and directly released the forbidden spell of the elves. In an instant, the terrifying natural magic swept across the world. The dragon flames on the Fire Dragon Lee were all extinguished, and the dragon's breath flames were directly wiped out. Even the meteorites falling from the sky were blown up by the powerful natural magic, and turned into countless flame fragments flying into the dense forests in all directions. Damn it. Monica, why are you always against me? Fire Dragon Lee roared. He was almost successful. His dragon breath containing the power of the domain had penetrated the green light curtain, and he could escape immediately. But before he could act, the green light curtain returned to its original state. Not only that, he could not break free from the forbidden spell of the elves, and he was finished. Even if he was promoted to level 21, his strength was far inferior to that of the great elf Monica. He was destined to die here. Fire Dragon Lee raised his eyes again in the direction of the Black Technology Castle. He expected that the meteorites he summoned could destroy the castle of that human. Even if he died, he would not let that human have an easy time. However, he was disappointed again. Many meteorites that fell towards the Black Technology Castle were blown up by thick branches when they were still hundreds of meters in the air. In fact, no meteorite fragments could hit the White Castle. Olivia. Fire Dragon Lee widened his eyes. He saw the giant tree with lush branches and leaves and endless starlight. I saw the girl in green standing on the top of the giant tree. She, Olivia, the spirit of the mother tree of the elves, the guardian of the elf tribe, a peak level 21 warrior who can rival the chief of the dragon nest. Even she came. She came to guard the White Castle in person, and together with the great elf Monica, the two level 21 warriors of the elf tribe all appeared. How could such a powerful castle force be broken by it, and a group of flaming dragons, the highest of which was only level 20? This expedition spanning thousands of kilometers was doomed to fail from the beginning. I surrender. The Fire Dragon Lee decisively gave up struggling, because no matter how hard it tried, it could not escape the level 21 domain of the great elf Monica. Moreover, it was trapped more and more, and now it couldn't even flap its wings. The magic power in its body has been completely suppressed by the forbidden spell, the elf goddess Yangzhen, and it can't even spit out dragon breath. It has no choice but to surrender. It surrendered. Monica looked at Xana. In her opinion, a level 21 dragon captive was very valuable. Whether it was taken as a pet mount or redeemed by the dragon nest, it would be very beneficial to the Black Technology Castle. Xana shifted his gaze and looked respectfully at Tang Xiaofan in the castle. He asked the Lord to obey his orders, but Tang Xiaofan simply shook his head. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 197. The power of faith is very strong. Since the novice period, the Fire Dragon Lee has repeatedly shown hostility towards his castle. Now, it has brought more than 20 flame dragons to attack his castle. How could he let it go so easily? Besides, it was only a 21st level flame dragon, which was no big deal. Because among the other surrendered flame dragons, there were also 2 or 3 flame dragons at the peak of level 20. After these flame dragons became his troops and gained the ability to increase experience by killing enemies, it would not take long for them to be promoted to level 21. Another point is that Tang Xiaofan's own level has reached the peak of level 10, and he is only one step away from being promoted to level 11. He firmly believes that if he kills a Fire Dragon Lee, he will be able to be promoted. Killing a 21st level flame dragon should be able to explode a lot of good things. As Tang Xiaofan muttered to himself, the second-class warriors of the War Second did not hesitate to release powerful missiles and began to attack Lee. No. The siege lasted for a full 10 seconds, and the Fire Dragon Lee finally let out an unwilling roar and was killed by the soldiers' concentrated fire. From this, we can see how powerful a creature at level 21 is. Even if it does not resist and allows the enemy to attack, it is difficult to kill it. But in the end, Fire Dragon Lee still fell. At the same time, golden light appeared on the bodies of many soldiers, and Tang Xiaofan also had golden light on his body. It was not until a long time later that the golden light disappeared, and Tang Xiaofan successfully promoted to level 11. He immediately checked the kill information prompt. Your troops killed the initial level 21 fiery dragon and obtained energy value plus 10,000 soulstones plus 1,000, blueprint plus 1 dark gold treasure chest plus 1 blueprint. And even a treasure chest. It's really a big explosion. Tang Xiaofan smiled brightly. When Fire Dragon Lee died, he not only promoted to level 11, but also exploded with blueprints and even a treasure chest. From the advent to now, Tang Xiaofan's troops have killed nearly 100,000 wild monsters, but none of them have exploded with a treasure chest. In the wild, Tang Xiaofan had not found any trace of the treasure chest. The only thing he knew was that the little lolly in the underground world had obtained a treasure chest and opened a black dragon egg from it. Calculating the time, the black dragon egg should have hatched. In the sky, with the fall of the fire dragon Li, the remaining 6 flaming dragons did not have the courage to resist at all and did not dare to raise their heads. They were afraid that they would be killed by those creatures wearing steel armor because of a glance. Even Li, who had entered the 21st level, was not persuaded to surrender. They did not think they had much value in the eyes of the lord of the castle. Apart from anything else, being a little more obedient and submissive might help them survive. Lord, love the world. People should believe in the Lord and worship the Lord. The omnipotent Lord created the world and everything. Lord. Selflessness, mercies. A nurse cold voice sounded at this time. At the same time, endless light rain fell from the void and wanted to merge into the bodies of those flaming dragons. Some flaming dragons felt the crisis and wanted to resist, but they were directly put on their necks by a giant sword. They were so scared that they dared not move and let the light rain enter their bodies. Lord, protect his believers. Believe in the Lord. Your souls will be immortal. Even if you fall, you can still gain eternal life in the Lord's kingdom. Gradually, the golden vertical pupils of the flaming dragons became confused, and they woke up after a long time. Under the shocked gaze of the great elf Monica, the flaming dragons prostrated themselves in the sky and bowed their heads respectfully. Eternal life. At this moment, the great elf Monica really felt cold all over and even shivered uncontrollably. Praise you, Almighty Lord. Black Technology Castle. 6 huge flaming dragons prostrated themselves in front of Tang Xiaofan. They were extremely respectful and gave their faith to Tang Xiaofan. The level of these 6 flaming dragons was all level 20, of which 2 were in the middle stage of level 20, 1 was in the late stage of level 20, and 3 were at the peak of level 20. Their strength was absolutely strong enough to sweep across the territory of any castle lord. That is to say, when they met Tang Xiaofan, there were 2 level 21 strong men of the elves sitting in the Black Technology Castle. If it was the castle of other castle lords, I'm afraid it would have been razed to the ground long ago. Of course, for Tang Xiaofan, it was a bit regrettable that he didn't see the effect of the close defense gun, but at least he tested the strength of the 2 strong men of the elves, which was still good. Tang Xiaofan clicked on the information of the dragons to check. Abra, flaming dragon, previous growth status, adult, level, peak of level 20 loyalty, 95 points, and so on. The growth potential limits of the 6 flaming dragons were all at the peak of level 21. It can be seen that the dragon army is also at the top of the first class army in the castle forces and can be compared with the natural elves, which are also highly intelligent races. These fire dragons have entered adulthood. However, they are still some distance away from the peak of their potential. It is very difficult to reach the limit of potential, and it requires various opportunities. Sometimes the shackles of a realm can make it difficult for local creatures to break through until they die. For local creatures, it does not mean that they can definitely be promoted to the limit of potential. It only means that they have this potential. However, the army under the command of the Lord of the Castle is different. No matter how high the potential limit is, as long as you keep killing enemies and gaining energy, you can grow to that level. Only then will the shackles appear, and you need to evolve your bloodline, arms, to reach a high level. Tang Xiaofan looked at the 6 flaming dragons in front of him. These flaming dragons became his army, and the road to entering the limit of growth was unobstructed. If nothing unexpected happens, each of them can be promoted to the peak of level 21. Loyalty is not bad either. All are above 90 points, and the highest is 95 points. Loyalty of more than 90 points is amazing. As long as there is such loyalty, the soldiers can be said to be loyal to the castle lord. Even if the castle lord sacrifices, the soldiers will not defect, but will fight to the death to avenge the castle lord. However, it is very difficult to improve and maintain loyalty. On the contrary, the failure of the battle, the bad attitude of the castle lord, etc., may reduce the loyalty of the soldiers. Therefore, many castle lords are troubled by the loyalty of the soldiers. Considering how to improve the loyalty of the soldiers, compared with Tang Xiaofan, the local creatures have just come over, and their loyalty is as high as 90 points, which is almost incredible. The only one who can compare with Tang Xiaofan is the little Lalita in the underground world. Her luck and charm are both amazingly high. But any black iron dwarf who has come to the little Lalita has a loyalty level of no less than 90 points. The little girl is gifted. I'm different. The reason why the flame dragons are so loyal is all due to the power of faith. Under the influence of faith, these flame dragons have become my believers, believing in me and considering me their god of faith. Chapter 198, Upgrading the Metal Laboratory. Naturally, their loyalty is high. Comparatively speaking, the elves in the elven tribe do not have such high loyalty. After the natural elves of the tribe came over, their initial loyalty was only over 80 points. The reason is that they are not my believers and do not believe in me. Belief is a shortcut to greatly improve loyalty. As long as they are believers, their loyalty will be ridiculously high. And under the influence of the power of faith, the loyalty of the troops will continue to increase and remain at the level of diehards and fanatical believers. Hundreds of castle lords. I wonder if there are other castle lords besides me who are on the path of faith. Tang Xiaofan felt that there should be. After all, it is a general trend for the lord of the castle to become a god through faith. Some smart castle lords who saw the opportunity early should also begin to cultivate believers. The reason why Tang Xiaofan was able to walk ahead of countless castle lords was entirely because he opened up the unique advantage of Almighty Lord when he ruled. And the peasants, a type of soldier with natural loyalty, are extremely suitable for faith. If it were other types of soldiers, Tang Xiaofan would not dare to guarantee that he would have the ability to make the soldiers believe in him. Even if there was, it would be very difficult. Farmers are different. They live on faith. And even if Tang Xiaofan does not speak, they will take the initiative to recruit believers for Tang Xiaofan and spread the glory of the Lord. Lord Zhan'er flew over and handed the collected spoils to Tang Xiaofan. The harvest is very good. Tang Xiaofan smiled as he looked at the piles of spoils. There were a total of 19 flaming dragons that attacked in a group, and now only 6 are still alive. That is to say, 13 of its fiery dragons were killed, including one that exploded its potential in a desperate situation, and was promoted to level 21. The fiery dragons that were killed, except for a few that were at level 18 peak lord level, the others were basically at level 20. Therefore, a large number of soul stones exploded, a total of 5,700 soul stones. 2 blueprints. In addition, there is a treasure chest. The dark gold treasure chest was placed in front of Tang Xiaofan, nearly 2 meters high. Tang Xiaofan didn't know how the Fire Dragon League could carry such a large treasure chest. Perhaps the treasure chest did not belong to it at all, but came from the mysterious game official. Tang Xiaofan didn't think much about it and put away the soul stones. At the same time, he checked his inventory. Soul stone. 20,472 pieces. Finally, all the soul stones are gathered. I will upgrade the farmer factory to level 5 later. The level 5 farmer factory will surely be able to breed more skilled workers. As long as the farmer factory is upgraded before 12 o'clock tonight, the summoned farmers will be based on the level 5 standard. There are more than 2 hours until 12 o'clock. No hurry. Tang Xiaofan turned to look at the 2 drawings that exploded. The information of the 2 drawings is unknown and needs to be identified. These 2 drawings. The other one is from the Fire Dragon Lee who was promoted to level 21. Their level is extremely high. I think the exploded drawings will not be ordinary things. Tang Xiaofan did not hesitate and immediately identified the 2 drawings. The bright light of identification enveloped the 2 blue drawings. After about 10 seconds, the light of identification dissipated. The 2 drawings also revealed their true colors. Heavy Rail Transit Vehicle Factory Blueprint. Grade. Advanced. Description. Use it to obtain a complete rail transit vehicle. Castle building upgrade blueprint. Grade. Rare. Description. Use it to upgrade the specified castle building by 1 level. Special reminder. The upgraded castle building level cannot exceed level 5. Both blueprints are special blueprints. It can be seen that the stronger the enemy killed and the higher the bloodline level, the better the quality of the blueprint exploded. Big profit. Rail Transit Vehicle Factory. Isn't this a train? I made a lot of money just from this blueprint. And it's advanced. Compared to the other 2 vehicles, the train is definitely more efficient. Compared to cars and airplanes, the transportation capacity of trains is unquestionable. In particular, the ores at many resource points are very heavy, and the blacksmith shop cannot be moved outside. Relying solely on cars and airplanes, the transportation capacity has always been restricted. But the train is different, and the transportation capacity is absolutely instant kill level. Tang Xiaofan smiled. So far, he has only used 2 factory drawings, and has produced a total of light trucks and light aircraft. The appearance of these 2 vehicles alone has made Tang Xiaofan's black technology castle a shotgun, and the efficiency of material collection has been greatly improved. Now there is a train. Even if his empire is tens of thousands of kilometers in the future, then the train can also solve the transportation capacity problem very well. Of course, if a new blacksmith shop can be built, and the blacksmith shop, wood workshop and stone workshop can be placed in other areas, it would be even better. At that time, the raw materials can be directly processed on the spot, and the factory can be processed centrally. Of course, even if the raw materials can be processed directly at that time, the subsequent assembly work still has to be placed in his core territory. Tang Xiaofan turned his attention to another drawing, castle building upgrade drawing. This is the first time such a blueprint has been found. But since it is marked as rare, it must be rarer and harder to find than other blueprints. Castle building upgrade blueprint, as the name suggests, is an upgrade blueprint. It can increase the level of the castle building. This effect is amazing, and it saves me a lot of supplies. But there is a problem. Since the level of the blueprint is too low, it is a low level 1, so the highest that can be upgraded is from a level 4 building to a level 5 building, and it cannot exceed level 5. The first thing Tang Xiaofan thought of was that the level of the former farmer's factory was exactly level 4, so this blueprint could be used. In this way, he can save a full 20,000 soulstones, and he can also use the saved soulstones to reserve for the future upgrade of the level 6 farmer's factory. Then, Tang Xiaofan thought of his castle. The current level of the black technology castle is a mid-level town, which is equivalent to a level 5 building. It seems that it exceeds the limit and this building upgrade blueprint cannot be used. Finally, Tang Xiaofan thought of it, and immediately asked in his mind, can the castle building blueprint be used to upgrade the Sky City? The Sky City is a weapon like a war fortress, not a castle building, and cannot be upgraded with such blueprints. Okay. Tang Xiaofan said to himself, it seems that this blueprint can only be used to upgrade the farmer factory. As for the elf mother tree army building, let's take our time. The core is still the farmer factory. Tang Xiaofan didn't hesitate, and immediately took the castle building upgrade blueprint, and walked towards the farmer factory. But just when he was about to use it, he suddenly paused. Because out of the corner of his eye, he saw the advanced building standing not far away, the metal laboratory. The metal laboratory was built by him using the blueprint. It didn't say what level it was, it seemed to be a constant advanced building. Chapter 199, Contents of the Dark Gold Treasure Box. But Tang Xiaofan once asked information tips, and got the answer, that the metal lab can also be upgraded, and the upgrade condition is the castle building upgrade blueprint in his hand. The metal lab is an exclusive building of my castle. It can increase the attack and defense of the troops by 10%, and can analyze various alloys for me, providing a technical basis for building equipment. Its role is very powerful, but the metal lab also has limitations. It can only analyze metal alloys at present. If it can conduct research on other materials, such as nanomaterials, then the evolution of my armor can also be put on the agenda. So, should I use this blueprint to upgrade the metal lab too? Tang Xiaofan frowned. He was considering whether it was more cost effective to upgrade the farmer's factory to save 20,000 soulstones, or to upgrade the metal lab. After pondering for a long time, Tang Xiaofan finally made a decision. The castle building upgrade blueprint is marked as rare, and it is obviously difficult to explode. And the metal lab, it is another camp exclusive building that cannot be upgraded with materials. Upgrading the farmer's factory can only save some soulstones at most. In comparison, it seems that upgrading the metal lab is more cost effective. After all, who knows when such a blueprint will be revealed again. Comparatively speaking, it is much easier to obtain soulstones. Thinking of this, Tang Xiaofan turned to the metal laboratory and immediately chose to use the blueprint without hesitation. In an instant, the blueprint in his hand disappeared. The metal laboratory in front of him was shrouded in a dazzling golden light. It can be vaguely seen that the appearance of the metal laboratory is changing, but it is not clear. After about a few minutes, the golden light dissipated, and the upgraded metal laboratory appeared in Tang Xiaofan's field of vision. Compared with before the upgrade, it is more magnificent, majestic, and spectacular, and the golden light it emits is also more rich and pure. Material Laboratory. Description: the ultimate exclusive building of the Farmer clan, the ultimate laboratory of materials, can produce and analyze all substances. Effect 1. Greatly increase the loyalty of the castle residents to the castle lord. Effect 2. All castle troops increase their attack power and defense power by 20%. Effect 3. Can analyze and provide relevant formulas for materials that can be described. Hidden Effect 1. As the ultimate exclusive building of the Farmer clan, the Material Laboratory can greatly increase the friendship value of the intelligent creatures of the light system and greatly increase the probability of active surrender of the intelligent creatures of the light system. Hidden Effect 2. Greatly increase the hatred value of the dark and evil camps. Hidden Effect 3. Once the material formula developed by the laboratory is applied, it can be synthesized using materials from the current world. Material Laboratory. After the upgrade, even the name is different. Looking at the information attributes of the Material Laboratory, Tang Xiaofan took a breath of cold air. The Metal Laboratory before the upgrade only had 3 ordinary effects, plus 2 hidden effects. After the upgrade, the Material Laboratory has 3 ordinary effects and 3 hidden effects. It seems that all effects are greatly improved, and the attack and defense of the castle troops have also increased from the previous 10% increase to 20%. Just for this reason, it was worth it for Tang Xiaofan to choose to use the blueprint to upgrade the Metal Laboratory. In addition, the research on materials is based on the analysis of the materials that exist in the current world. Otherwise, if the research results in materials that can only be produced by materials that are not available in the God and Demon continent, will there be no chance of mass production? In other words, even if the new materials developed by the Material Laboratory are in the future, I can find a way to mass produce them. And, after the upgrade, the research speed of the Material Laboratory will also be greatly improved, and the work efficiency will be greatly improved. It's so powerful. Tang Xiaofan couldn't help himself. He was glad that he didn't use the blueprint to upgrade the Gangnanfu factory. The value of the soulstone saved was not as good as the new attributes of the Material Laboratory. He made a fortune. After a long moment, Tang Xiaofan calmed down. He looked at the little angels kneeling and praying at the gate of the Material Laboratory. These soldiers of the light camp were inspired by the Material Laboratory. They spontaneously knelt at the gate of the temple to pray. The little angels were also very excited after the Material Laboratory appeared, but they finally chose to pray daily near the farmer's factory. What a terrifying aura of faith. In the distance, the young girl Olivia, the great elf Monica, and the elf elder Becky all showed surprised expressions. Material Laboratory. Mother, what is that? Facing Monica's question, the young girl Olivia's expression was dull, as if she was lost in memory. That is the Supreme Hall of the Farmer clan. It appeared in ancient times, and belongs to the core temple of the Farmer's pantheon. But since the end of the ancient God War, the Material Laboratory has become a ruin. It is said that it was destroyed by the dimensional demon god himself. Today, maybe even the ruins can't be found. I didn't expect it, the young girl Olivia said in great horror. It actually came to the Lord's castle. Could it be that the Lord will become a god in the future? God. The great elves Monica and Becky trembled. In the distance, Tang Xiaofan heard the discussion of the 3 elves. He couldn't help shaking his head. He didn't want to be a god. His title was much more powerful than a god. At this time, a soldier came over and knelt respectfully, saying, Almighty Lord, there is still a batch of materials to be processed. Tang Xiaofan glanced at the giant dragon corpses piled up in the open space in the distance. There were a total of 23. Go and rest, let others deal with it. Yes, Almighty Lord. The soldiers quickly retreated and went to the city to rest. Tang Xiaofan asked Nang Yi and others to store all the giant dragon corpses in the castle warehouse. The reason why he did not let the soldiers collect them was that after collecting them, at most they could only get some giant dragon materials. In comparison, it seemed that the complete giant dragon body was more valuable. He had to preserve it and go back to find a sponsor to sell it for a good price. After putting away the dragon corpses, Tang Xiaofan cast his eyes on the dark gold treasure chest about 2 meters long in front of him. Treasure box, grade, dark gold. Description: you will get unexpected gains when you open it. Unexpected gains? Tang Xiaofan was very interested and opened the treasure box immediately. The moment he opened the box, a dazzling red light burst out, almost blinding Tang Xiaofan. He looked at the items in the box. It seemed to be a dragon egg. Its maximum diameter is more than 1 meter, and it is oval in shape. The whole body is red, and emits red light, like a rare giant ruby. On the eggshell of the dragon egg, there are also dense golden lines that show its nobility. Dragon egg of the flame dragon, demigod level, incubation time, 3 days. It has extremely high growth potential, and has the potential to become the dragon king of the flame dragon clan. Cultivate it well, and it will become the most powerful flame dragon king under your command. Dragon egg chapter 200. The differences between the 5 colored dragons. Tang Xiaofan sighed, and inexplicably felt a little disgusted with the fire dragon egg in the treasure chest. Tang Xiaofan did feel a little disgusted. The growth potential of the demigod level was actually very amazing. Even for the top castle lords, this fire dragon egg could be called a treasure, enough to make countless castle lords jealous. Because even for the top level troops, their growth potential limit is only the peak of level 21 at most. For the top level natural elves, the growth potential limit is generally the late level 21 and the peak level 21. Only in very rare and extremely lucky cases, elemental elves and ancient elves with demigod potential, not to mention, this is a natural elf that can rival the dragon clan and titan, ranking at the top of the top level troops. Some of the poorer top level troops even have a growth potential limit of only the early level 21 and the middle level 21. The worst level troops can't even reach level 21. For example, the bloodthirsty demon wolf has a growth potential limit of level 20, which is the weakest top level troop. It is reasonable to classify it as a high level troop. In the entire castle cushion force, the growth potential limit of top level troop is generally around the early level 21, and only a few can reach the late level 21 and the peak level 21. In comparison, the preciousness of a fire dragon egg with a growth potential of demigod level is self-evident. Moreover, it is a dragon troop, and comes from the native land of the god and demon continent, so its value can be increased several times. If it is properly cultivated, once it grows into a demigod level flame dragon king, its strategic significance will be extraordinary. Facing this fire dragon king egg, Tang Xiaofan believes that any castle lord will be tempted, or even jealous. Its value is second only to the artifact. If he takes it to the trading channel and auctions it, there will definitely be countless castle lords and even free wanderers coming to bid and fight for it. After all, it is a demigod level troop, which is extremely precious. However, Tang Xiaofan was somewhat disgusted with it, thinking that its growth potential was too low. What was the potential of a demigod? The lowest potential of the little angels under his command was that of a demigod. The 4-winged angel was at the peak of demigod, and the 6-winged angel had the potential of a lower level true god, the peak level of a lower level true god. For example, the angel of the heart, Tigger. She was the only 4-winged angel under Tang Xiaofan. If she was further promoted to a 6-winged angel with 3 pairs of physical wings, then the growth potential of the angel of the heart, Tigger, would be able to enter the level of middle level true god. It can be said that the growth potential of each one was enough for countless castle lords to look up to. In such a comparison, what was a mere demigod level fire dragon king egg? Tang Xiaofan considered it for a long time, and finally did not abandon the fire dragon king egg. At this stage, if it was put up for auction, the proceeds from the auction would hardly match its value. To put it bluntly, Tang Xiaofan felt that he would suffer a loss. The reason why Tang Xiaofan auctioned the precious skeleton warrior species architectural blueprint was, first, to reserve resources, and second, because the skeleton warrior species architectural blueprint was of no use to him. However, this fire dragon king egg seemed to be a little useful. After growing up, it can command the flaming dragons and his castle forces. In addition, it is a native creature of the god and demon continent. In the future, Tang Xiaofan can use it to extend his tentacles to the local dragon forces. If it can become the flaming dragon king in the local dragon forces and unify the local flaming dragon lineage, it will also be very helpful for the development of Tang Xiaofan's castle forces. Thinking of this, Tang Xiaofan decided to keep the fire dragon king egg. Its incubation time is 3 days. Tang Xiaofan felt that this time was a bit long, so he asked the information prompt about the hatching speed of the fire dragon egg. Can it hatch faster? The information prompt responded quickly. Consuming soulstones can speed up the hatching of fire dragon eggs. The fastest speed can be accelerated to within 1 day. It is estimated that about 3,000 soulstones will be consumed. Having a flaming dragon of the same attribute provide elemental magic power for it, which can also speed up the hatching speed. The time can be accelerated to within 2 days. In addition to these 2 methods, the information prompt also told Tang Xiaofan that placing the fire dragon egg in the magma of the earth's core, consuming treasures of fire attributes, etc., can all speed up the hatching process of the fire dragon egg. In short, there are many methods, and the most practical one is to consume soulstones and let the flaming dragon infuse elemental magic power for it to help hatch. 3,000 soulstones are too expensive. Let the flaming dragon handle it. Almighty Lord, as a peak dragon of level 20, its body can be said to be very huge. From head to tail, it is more than 60 meters long. The wingspan is nearly 80 meters, which is completely a huge guy, like an ancient beast. In front of the huge body of the flaming dragon, the top level bloodthirsty wolf looked like a little chicken, giving people the feeling that a claw could tear the bloodthirsty wolf into pieces. It must be said that creatures like dragons are still very good. Tang Xiaofan did not mention the fire dragon eggs immediately, but asked, "Abrab, what kind of dragons are there in the dragon nest of the forest, and how many dragons are there?" The flaming dragon said respectfully, "There are many types of dragons in the dragon nest, including gem dragons, and there are probably more than 5,000. I don't know. More than 5,000? Tang Xiaofan was surprised. He didn't expect that there would be so many dragons in a small forest. Then how many dragons are there in the entire god and demon continent? As expected of one of the powerful races in the god and demon continent, the dragon race relies not only on the identity and bloodline of a highly intelligent race, but also on the powerful racial strength. Wise Lord. Flame Dragon Abra said cautiously, if those evil dragon heretics in Dragon Nest learn that a dragon has fallen in the Black Technology Castle, they may send a large dragon army to conduct an expedition. After becoming a believer of Tang Xiaofan, the dragons in Dragon Nest became heretics in the eyes of Flame Dragon Abra. In its view, dragons who do not believe in the Lord are heretics. It's okay. Tang Xiaofan waved his hand. He was not very worried about this problem. He had already prepared himself mentally when he decided to destroy the Fire Dragon group. Would he be afraid? He was not afraid of the Dragon Army's expedition to his Black Technology Castle. As long as he didn't feel sorry for the Soul Stone, even if all the dragons in the dragon nest of the forest were dispatched, the thousands of large, medium and small evil energy cannons on the Sky City would be enough to make them come and go. Afterwards, Tang Xiaofan learned about the general classification of dragons from the Flaming Dragon Abra. The most numerous dragons are elemental dragons. The most famous elemental dragons are the 5-colored dragons. They are Red Dragon, Flaming Dragon, White Dragon, Frost Dragon, Green Dragon, Poisonous Dragon also known as Natural Evil Dragon, Black Dragon, Dark Dragon, Blue Dragon, Thunder Dragon. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.